You can step into my world, see the way I see it, no matter near or far. It is a sight worth seeing. Step into my world, see the way I see it. Rivah TV.
What is up, guys? What is up, everybody? Listen, it's been a long time. Okay. I am very aware that it has been a long time. For those of you who do not know, I was away um on vacation. Okay. I was living it up on vacation. I am very tan, loving it all, loving my melanated skin. Okay. Loving the fact that I was soaking up such good sunlight. Okay, great, amazing sunlight. Spend a lot of times outdoors, which is so healthy for you in so many different ways, vitamin D wise, just mental health wise, just in every way. Every way it's always best to get outdoors. So I was living it up. Okay, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I was living it up. It took a lot for me to even come home, if I'm being really honest with you guys. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody. Your girl is back. Rivah is back. Okay. Rivah TV is also back. I know I took a little bit of a break, but I wanted to be sure that while I was away, that I was actually away, right? Like, what is the point of actually going away if you're not going to enjoy the moment, you know, um, and be present? I'm very big on being present, right? Because you can be in front of somebody having a conversation, you can be somewhere hanging out, but you can be, mentally somewhere else. So I was very big on maintaining my presence as well as being present in the moment. So that is why you guys did not see me as frequently as you would maybe, are used to, would have liked to, anything like that, just because of the fact that I was absolutely living my life. Okay, I was living my life. But you know what? At the end of the day, vacation is necessary, time away is necessary, all of that is very essential. But we got some stuff to talk about. Okay, we have so many things to talk about. So don't get it twisted. Okay, let's just be clear. Let's make something very very clear. um your girl is going to touch on a lot of things. There's been so many things that have happened, media wise, informational wise, like just too many things that have occurred that for a fact we're going to talk about it. Okay, we are absolutely going to talk about these things. But again, I wanted to start off with a live stream so I can come to you guys, speak to you guys, and break some things down personally. Okay, I can't have such a long break and then not come and be face to face with you guys, not open the line for you guys to call, and we can share the conversation with each other, and just touch on some subjects that are very very necessary to talk about. Okay, at the end of the day, when you're, especially if you're in a relationship, right? That is the most important relationship that you're ever going to be in. That's somebody who's going to hold you down, have your back, support you if you're in a healthy relationship, right? Or it's going to be your downfall. Okay, let's just keep it real. Or it's going to be the space that's going to keep you broken, keep you stagnant, keep you beneath the level of um a place of excelling, keeping you um mediocre, right? So that is the most essential relationship. So there's no way, okay? There is absolutely no way that your girl is going to stop talking about these conversations, stop talking about relationships, and stop giving my feedback. So y'all don't have to worry about that, okay? I saw a couple of people also asking me, they thought I moved. Listen, shout out to y'all, because maybe the energy that I was, feeding off to you guys through my videos while I was away, you guys really thought that I was going to move there. I was contemplating it, right? Like, I was literally saying, why can't I just forget my entire life that I have going on right here, right? And just go ahead and move to a different place, right? But obviously, we know that's not reality. Life doesn't necessarily work like that all the time. So I had an amazing time. I was glad to be there. I have a lot of stuff coming up for you guys still. A lot of stuff I'm still working on for you guys. But also, I am glad to be back and glad to be on my live stream, right? I'm glad to be here talking and sharing this space with all of you guys. So I have to say, shout out to my bro, Mike Dub, okay? Shout out to my bro, Mike Dub. Long time no see. I haven't seen all of you guys in a long time. 1997 days said, Riva, shout out to you. Emmanuel Deadweiler said, peace and blessings, Queen. Glad to see you back. Give thanks, brother. I'm glad to be back. I'm really glad to be back. Quinn Child said, you are glowing. I'm telling you, that sun did me right. Okay, that sun was everything I needed and more. True KD said, "What River, what's up? What is up? Long time no see." Um, a bathing soul said, peace to you as well. The African wolf, get your popcorn ready. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Monto Jackson, long time no see. He said, glad you're back live. Thank you so much. Yeah, for real. It's really been a long time. I was planning on doing a live stream while I was away, but again, I needed to be present, right? I needed to be present while I was on my vacation. Where you was at. Listen, if you don't know, you're gonna find out where I was, okay? Because I'm going to share a lot of what happened while I was away with you guys as well. Shell 2185 says River looking good and moisturized. Okay, 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 moisturized, right? Not dry, not crusty, not ashy. Well moisturized, well taken care of, right? um so tonight as you guys are coming in, don't forget to hit that like button, as well as subscribing to the channel if you are not already. Join the family. Again, like I said, I may have taken a little bit of a break. It was well needed. In the year that I have been doing these conversations and having this dialogue with you guys, I have not taken a vacation. I might have taken like 1 day off, 2 days off, but I have never taken a vacation. So I needed it. I really needed it. Like Mike Dub is saying, he needed a vacation. I needed it too. Montel Jackson saying, you deserve that vacation, by the way. Thank you. I really needed it. I really needed it for a lot of different reasons. Just seeing different scenery is always good. Feeling refreshed. Again, the sun, just so many different aspects of why I needed that. And I loved it. And I lived it. Okay. So now I can come back with a new energy, new mindset, and continue the conversations that are so essential for us to have. Um so again, while you guys are coming in, don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. And I wanted to, so based off of the stuff that I've been seeing, right? Because I haven't been posting, I haven't been reacting, I haven't been live streaming, I haven't been, doing any of this kind of conversation, having any content going out, none of the above, right? I was literally for a whole entire week just settling my mind elsewhere and being present and enjoying being away, right? But it doesn't mean that I haven't seen things going on Instagram, okay? Seeing things going on TikTok. I was not on YouTube at all, okay? Got to be honest, I was not on YouTube at all. That was very important for me while I was on my break, is to not be on YouTube. But I was on social media, of course, on Instagram, like I said, on TikTok. And I was seeing a lot of the things that we're still going to be breaking down. Okay. As the days go by, we're going to be breaking all these things down. Um, but it just brought me to a different aspect of the conversation that I thought was necessary for us to talk about. Okay. And again, I'm still tired. Okay. I know I look good. I know I look refreshed, but I'm still a little bit tired. So we're not going to be on here all night, but it was essential for me to have this conversation with you guys. Um, so it brought me to a different aspect of the conversation, right? So like a lot of the conversations that we talk about like, what you're not doing right, and like we talk about masculine women, masculine energy, being disrespectful, emasculating men. We talk about these aspects of the conversation as if these are the only aspects that will cause havoc or wreak havoc in your relationships. And to be honest, that's not true. Okay, that's not true. It's not just about being disrespectful. It's not just about emasculating. It's not just about being nasty or being rude. There's a lot of other aspects of the conversation. It's not just about uh yeah, not being the Whatever you say, honey, it's not just about that. There's a lot of aspects about the conversation and about relationships that I feel like are left out of the conversation, but also that women don't completely understand. Okay? Let's just be clear. There's a lot of things that women don't understand in regards to how to relay themselves to men in general. Okay, not just their man, but to men in general, but then also to their man, right? And there's a lot of things that can be so simple. Lauryn Hill said it best, right? It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. There's a lot of different aspects that are very simple, right? Very cool, calm, collected, very not hard, right? Cool days that just get extra complicated for literally no reason. And what it is a lack of understanding. Bottom line, nothing to it but to do it. A lot of the time, it's a lack of understanding of the opposite sex. And the reason why I feel like it's very important for, as a woman, to be talking to women, okay, is because everybody doesn't get it right the first time, right? Some of us ain't had no daddies. Let's just be real. You don't know how to talk to a man. You don't know how to understand a man because you never saw one there. So how can you know how to articulate yourself to somebody that you've never experienced? That's just keeping it real. Nothing wrong with that. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the fact that a lot of women do not know. But the problem is the arrogance that comes along with not knowing. That's when you guys strike a problem. Because you get into relationships and you just be loud and wrong. It's okay if you need more context. It's okay if you need more information. It's okay if you need more understanding of the opposing sex. There's nothing wrong with that. But because of the ego, a lot of women are in a space that they just can't stand on the fact that they did not know or they do not know. They just follow social media, follow city girl lifestyle, follow, what other women on TikTok are saying about men, and then just generalize men as if they're all, one size fits all, copy and paste, which is not true. Date one man, say all men are bad, and then get into situations with their own selfish mindset, and then try to have positive relationships or try to have long lasting relationships because deep down that's what they truly want, but they don't know how to operate in them. And that's okay. It's okay to not know everything. Nobody knows everything. It's okay to be at a place of learning. It's okay to be at a place of trying to understand or understanding. And the reason why I have to say women is because when we look at these forums, when we look in these conversations, when we look at these live streams, men are always there trying to grow, trying to understand, trying to gain some kind of understanding. They're always around. Whether they're married or not, whether they're dating or not, whether they have understanding or they don't. They're always around waiting to gain knowledge or to grow in a way that maybe I do know all this information, but I'm always willing to learn more. That's why we're talking to women. That's why it's important for women to gain this understanding, because there's women out there who, let's be real, they're good women, right? They just need a little work. They need a little help. They need a little understanding. Need a little bit more knowledge. They're not disrespectful. They're not disgusting with their attitude. They're not overbearing or whatever it is. Maybe they are pretty clean, whatever it is. Okay? Just keeping it real. But they need more help when it comes to learning how to operate with the opposite person. That's it. They need a little tweaking. That's all. A lot of people nowadays, both men and women, are in spaces that they want somebody ready made. right? They want the ready-made person. They want the woman who is perfect, who can cook all the meals that they mama cook for them and then some. Not putting into perspective that, hey, the issue is not that this woman cannot cook at all, but how is she going to know your mom's recipes when she grew up in an entire different culture, an entire different household? You're going to have to inform her. You're going to have to do some kind of tweaking to teach her. You can't what's the saying? You can't hurt somebody for what they don't know. I know that's not the real saying, but I'm trying to, monitor the words that I'm saying on the platform. But you can't hurt somebody for what they don't know. So we have to be at a space of um I'm not going to use the word grace because I think grace is extended when people are in the wrong. But I think that we have to be at a space where both parties can humbly connect with each other, and one can humbly be the teacher and one can humbly be the student. The man can humbly teach his woman and she can humbly learn from her man. Because arrogance and ego is where things go haywire. Arrogance and ego, she should know that already. That kind of mentality, ego, arrogance. Well, he don't got to tell me nothing. He ain't my daddy. Arrogance, ego. Those two things are not going to assist you when trying to create the best foundation for a long lasting relationship from either party. It's just not going to work. Right? So we need that level of understanding. And again, I have to say, when it comes to gaining knowledge, gaining understanding, it is men who are always in these forums, always on different platforms. They're on women's pages, hearing from women. They're on men's pages, hearing from men, and they are trying to gain as much knowledge as possible so that they are well equipped and balanced. It's women that we don't see very often, right? The ones who are in development are learning. The ones who are into being the best version of themselves as a woman are on places, right? And even if you don't see them in the comment section, they're in the DMs, right? I see them in my DMs. Girl, I didn't realize I was doing this. Thank you for saying this because you opened my mind to this way of thinking. Nothing wrong with that. But I think that there's a little bit before we get into the conversation. I'm just talking to y'all, right? I've been away for a little bit, so I'm just talking to y'all, breaking it down. I think there's a lot of misunderstandings that happen when we have these kind of conversations on these platforms. And I can only speak for my own. To be honest, I can only speak for my own. I can only speak for Rivah TV. But I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the conversations that happen here at Rivah TV. And one of the biggest misconceptions is the fact that, people just pick on women or y'all just be picking on women. It's not about that. The only way that you can be saying, oh, people just picking on women is when you're in your ego. When you're operating out of ego, everything is going to be deflection or defensive. You notice that? When somebody is operating solely out of their ego, everything is a deflection or a defense mechanism. That's when we start triggering them flight or flights. Oh, I need to go because y'all not talking to me, flight. Oh, she over here doing this. She just want male attention, fight. Flight or fight are both ignited based on the fact that people are speaking truth to you and it's hitting you somewhere. But when you're egotistical, you're not able to listen to and gain knowledge from the situation. Humility is key for for everyone, for life. Not just relationships, for life in general, humility is key, but especially in relationships. And especially as a woman. Y'all gonna be like, some of them are gonna be like, oh, see, here she go with the double standards. Yes, because we're different. We're made differently. We're made differently. Men and women are similar, but very different. Very, very different. And that's okay. We have to be comfortable in differences. We're not only supposed to be comfortable in differences when we talk about people who change gender or do this or do that. And then that's when women are fighting and saying, oh, you have to be comfortable in being different. But when you turn to a woman and you say to a woman, a man is different than you, his strengths, he's stronger than you physically. Oh, y'all need to stop with the double standards. I could do anything a man can do. No, we're different. It's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we call balance. There's balance. Nothing wrong with that. But gaining, again, a deeper understanding is going to foster growth for better relationships. It's going to foster growth for better foundations when you get into a relationship. When you can understand the mindset of the opposite person, it's going to be easier to maneuver in relationships with that opposite person because you understand that their way of thinking is just a little bit different than your way of thinking. And because you realize that that is okay, you are a lot, uh, you take things easier. You're more chill, for lack of better words. You're more calm spirited. You don't fly off the handle so quick because that's different. It's just like when some people, I can't say all people, but it's just like when majority of people are around a baby, right? A 1-year old, 2-year old, maybe a 3-year old who doesn't really know how to articulate their feelings, can't talk, right? Can't talk as clearly. They don't really have that sense of like emotional intelligence or like people are around me. Most people when they see like a toddler or a baby, let's just be clear, and they see the baby is crying because they took a toy from them, they understand I don't need to be so aggressive because this baby doesn't understand that I'm taking this toy away from them because what they see as a toy is actually dangerous. But because I know for a fact that this baby doesn't have the same knowledge that I do, I'm not going to take this crying personal. It's about mindset, understanding. Because you have that level of understanding, it is a lot easier for you to deal with or have compassion for that child because you understand that that child does not understand. Right? It's about perspective, putting things into perspective. I'm not comparing women to children. I'm not comparing men to children in this instant. Okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about perspective. You see a child doing something, you're not going to take things personal because you understand that it's a child, and in a child's mindset, they are unable to decipher what's good for them or what's not good for them. That's why you as the adult can act regardless of their emotion, regardless of if a baby is crying, if a baby has scissors in its hand and is trying to run somewhere, regardless of if you take those scissors away and that baby is crying, you are not going to hand those scissors back to that baby because you know the danger even though the baby doesn't. Perspective, understanding, your level of understanding. Same thing goes for as a man with a woman, right? You understand that her mind frame is a little bit different than yours. You understand that her level of understanding is a little bit different than yours. You're not expecting her uh to think in a way that is the same exact way that you'll think because she's a woman and you're a man. Doesn't mean that you're expecting her to be illogical. You just understand that she's a little bit more sensitive, she's a little bit more emotional because she is a woman. And as a woman, it is extremely essential for you to understand that he is not. He is not run by his emotion. He is way more logical of a thinker. You should be logical of a thinker as well. But you understand his way of thinking. So if you ask him a question and he gives you the direct answer, your feelings shouldn't be hurt because you asked him a question and he answered it. Logically speaking, he's doing what he was supposed to do. Don't bring your emotions into it. That is just understanding the differences. right? So I'm saying all that to say a lot of women think, based off of the conversations that are trending, based off of what's popular on TikTok and, all the different shows and conversations about relationships, a lot of women think that as long as they are not masculine, as long as they are not blatantly disrespectful to their man, that their man should have no problem with them. And that's not true. There's a lot of other things that make men miserable in relationships that men are not always going to walk up to you and complain about. Why? Because men are not naturally complainers. Men are doers, fixers, changers. Women are more the complainers. That's why most of the time men know what's wrong in the relationship because all the woman does is talk about it. When it comes to men, they're not always going to sit down and complain, share their emotions, cry about things, even if they're hurt in the relationship, even if they are miserable in the relationship. They're not going to outwardly say all the time, oh, you hurt my feelings when you said this, or oh, I don't like that you did that. They're not going to do that. But not just because you're not masculine, not just because, again, you're not emasculating him, not just because you're not disrespectful, means that you're in the clear to have a happy sailing relationship where his eyes are not straying, okay, where he not thinking about, well, damn, I don't want to be with this woman anymore. He not walking around the house miserable, and you talking about, I came out the room and I look beautiful and you didn't even give me a compliment. What's wrong with you? Sometimes there's a lot of misery in there. And maybe you can't point it out, but I'm going to give you guys a couple of scenarios as to why some men are in relationships and they are miserable. And some of you might say, hey, Riva, if they're in relationships and miserable, why don't they move on? Why don't they just get out the relationship if they're so unhappy? And to be honest, sometimes it's because of children. Sometimes it's just because of the fact that the man knows that the woman can't handle it if he leaves. The man knows that the woman is not mentally stable to the point that he can walk out of the relationship freely. She gonna act crazy, act a fool. Okay, there's a lot of different reasons why men stay, because men will rather look at the bigger picture, stay, be unhappy, be miserable, possibly cheat, than to leave you high and dry. Let's just be clear. Women will leave you high and dry. Okay? The divorce records prove women file fast. They don't care. It's not like, oh, I can't picture my life without you. Women be like, peace out. I'm out. Bye. Clearing it. Outie. Holla at you. Sign these papers. I'm out. That's what women do. Men are trying to keep the household intact still. Well, if I leave, what's going to happen to my kids? If I leave, what's going to happen to this? If I leave, what am I going to do this? So I'd rather be here and be miserable because I've exhausted all options. She's not changing. She's showing me who she is, and I'm going to have to deal with it. So we're going to get into all of these reasons. Shout out to Dare Long with the crowns. Thank you so much. Kashawn, my brother. Hey, Riva. Hey, Kashawn. What is up with you? I'm going to drop the link soon. Mike Dub says, one of the issues I have noticed is that in a long-term relationship or marriage is women want monogamy, but being monogamous becomes a chore for them. Okay. See, Mike, we're going to get into it. Mike. Jamel H said, shout out to the beautiful Miss River, keep rising and shining. Give thanks. Thank you so much. The African Wolf said, preach. Thank you so much. Sorry guys, I got caught up reading this. 1997 days says, River, what does real love look like to you? That might be a long conversation. Okay. That might be a long conversation. At the same time, it's real love is actually very simple. It's very simple, but it takes a certain mindset to be able to experience it. And this is a part of what we're talking about tonight. But to really go into depth of breaking love down and what it really is, what it entails and stuff like that, that might be you might be on to a different conversation we're going to have. Same stuff, different dead says, well, not only that, men have more to lose financially because we know in domestic court, men usually get stroked. That's true too. Okay, that is very true. That's very, very true. Thank you so much for Kashan. And just remember, if you are here, make sure you guys hit that like button and that subscribe button. Just to keep the stream going, reaching out, send it to some people that you might need to hear this conversation. Okay, they might need to hear what makes men miserable in relationships. I don't know. So let me get into the actual topics at hand. So there might be a woman who's in a relationship and again lacks that same understanding that I was talking about a little bit earlier and actually wants to have a good relationship. And there are some women who are just genuinely nasty. Okay. And I don't mean physically, I mean as in just their attitude. Nasty, disrespectful, just mean spirited. Like you genuinely have some mean spirited people in general, not just women, but there are some women who are just very selfish, very self-centered, do not care about anybody else but themselves, only care about their own growth, only care about their own happiness. So for those women who are miserable and who are just making everybody else around them miserable and who only care about themselves, for this, I am not talking about them. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the women who get into relationships and feel like they are best suited to be in a relationship. They feel like, they're a good woman. They feel like they're bringing their best self to the table. And over again, they're not getting the results that they want out of relationships. And they're like, I can't figure this out. Why? Why do these men be acting funny? Why do they switch up on me? Why do they start doing this? And I'm going to tell you, a lot of men are really miserable in their relationships. And again, they're not going to complain how women complain. Keeping it real. And one of the most common reasons, okay, that men get miserable in their relationships is because their woman becomes lazy. You guys hear what I said? One of the reasons why. Oop, hold up, y'all. Click something wrong. One of the reasons why men get miserable in relationships is because women become lazy. Okay? Let me write this down because I want y'all to, I haven't been on in a while, so I'm gonna be on here just having a conversation with y'all. I already had dinner. We're gonna put this right here on the bottom. Thank you. Let's go ahead and add this. A lot of women get lazy. This is what makes a lot of men miserable. And I'm going to tell you because, again, a lot of men are not going to sit down, have the conversation, break things down with you because a lot of men are not extremely vocal. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't work on that. A lot of men should, right? Most men who are about their business and don't got time for all the foolishness, they'll tell you straight up what your problems are in the relationship. Other men that try to just, be kind to get along or whatever the case is, let's just be clear. Right? Oh, and I like this. What Mike Dub said. Even when we do, it's completely overlooked. Right. Some men be complaining, the woman be like, oh, you always saying something. You need to listen to what your man is saying because that is what's going to give you the greatest foundation in a relationship is when it's not just when your man is happy with you. That's not what makes the bond closer. A lot of women get it twisted. And I'm glad Mike said this so I can go into this part. Shout out to you, Adam, my bro. A lot of women think that their bond with their spouse, with their man, only gets stronger when they have good moments. And that is not true. It is special when you have good moments. It's extremely important to create a lot of good memories, right? But when your man has a complaint, how you handle that complaint and how you internalize it, how you listen to him, that is extremely crucial to how your relationship is going to level out in the future. It's very important. It's very important that when your man voices a complaint, that you do not get offended easily, that you do not get defensive, that you actually listen to what he's saying to understand, not listen to respond. And the reason why is because once you open that door that he is able to voice his complaints to you, and you can easily uh take them in, comprehend them, understand them, internalize them without getting offended, you are going to open that door for him to easily have that communication open with you. So before he goes and ventures out, before his mind is already shut off, before he's already, turned off from you and not looking at you in that same way that he's seen you in the beginning, you have created that avenue of communication so that you guys can openly have that dialogue with each other. That is what's also going to create a bond, not just the good moments. How you handle the moments that are a little rough, a little shaky. Because you know what he's going to say in his mind? Man, when I said that to my last chick, or if I would have said that to a other girl, she would have went off. But my girl knows how to handle herself. She understands where I'm coming from. She doesn't get easily defensive. She don't want to fight all the time. She hears me. Okay. Just wanted to put that tidbit out there. Okay. Things that make men miserable in relationships. Women get lazy. And a lot of women don't understand this part. But when you're walking around the house being lazy, let's be clear. Okay. When you're lazy with the cooking, when you're lazy with the cleaning, when you're lazy with uh the stuff that you put on, when you don't feel like doing your hair, when you don't feel like putting on makeup, when you don't feel like doing your nails, it transfers to every single thing around you. What a lot of people don't realize, a lot of women don't realize, is that cooking and cleaning is not just about being able to cook and clean, right? It's an adult skill. It's important. It's important for adults to know how to cook and clean. I always say this every single time. When you're cooking, it's very essential, right, that you know how to cook, because if not, you're putting your health or the health of your family in people outside's hands. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to cleaning, it's just an adult skill. You should keep a clean place. If not, you're going to attract some nasty stuff in your house. People not going to want to come over. People who are not as clean or hygienic, they have a lot of different issues, infections, bacteria, all that kind of stuff. Adult skill. Cooking and cleaning, an adult skill. But the thing is, as a woman, women require structure. I'm a woman. I know. Women require structure. So when you keep the house clean, when you cook and clean up after yourself in the kitchen, you know that feeling after you cook and you say, you done ate dinner already and you don't feel like washing the dishes. You see, when you do it, it does something to your energy. It does something to you positively. When you decide, oh man, I don't feel like going to the gym, and you go anyway, it does something to you. And it transfers to everything in the relationship. There's a reason why you see trends on TikTok when women are scrolling on, they have a video and they say, oh, what I have to do from when my man gets home so he doesn't realize that I stayed in the same spot. Men are very goal driven. Men are very motivated, right? Men are always doing something. That's why you could see a man on his day off and he be doing something. He always got to do something, keeping his brain going. A man is not going to want to look at a woman who is just laid up all the time in the bed, doing nothing, being lazy. You're too lazy to sleep with him. You're too lazy to cook. You're too lazy to clean. You're too lazy to do your hair. You're too lazy to do your makeup. And most of this stuff happens after a while in the relationship. So when he thought he was with somebody who, was all that in a bag of chips, all of a sudden he opened the bag and he realized, oh, ain't nothing but crumbs in this bag. And it's unbecoming. A part of being a woman, right, is being on your game, handling stuff. It's leaving childlike ways behind. And men who are attracted to women are going to be attracted to that trait within you, that go getter thing within you, that handle business thing within you. If we look at women back in the day, okay, let's just be honest. If we look at women back in the day, they used to be up before anybody else got up in the house. Breakfast cooked, stuff up. She, having her cup of tea. She already done watch the news. She up. The house can be sleep, but she already taking care of a whole bunch of stuff in her home. Those traits are attractive to your man. Not when he, being lazy and he get up and he like, hey, I'm gonna go to the store real quick. And you say, okay, I'm just gonna lay in the bed. Then he go to the store, go run all these errands and come back and you still in the bed. It's not attractive. It's not attractive when you're about your business. It's attractive when you say, I got to get up because I got to go to the gym. It's attractive when you say, I got to handle all this stuff before this. That stuff is attractive. It's attractive when, you can't just be laid up. You always got to be sweeping up something and mopping something. It's attractive to a man. It's going to make him feel good when he say, nah, baby, relax. I got it. You always doing something. I got you. That's attractive to a man. And again, this laziness is attached to the next thing that I'm going to say. Okay? Cuz once a woman gets lazy, what's the next thing that goes? Next thing that goes is they start letting themselves go. So they too lazy to cook, too lazy to clean, and again, too lazy to do their hair, too lazy to do their makeup, too lazy to put on some cute underwear, too lazy. When you first got into a relationship with him, you used to have your hair, put up, clipped up. Okay, you wasn't a part of that bonnet lifestyle. You're like, not me, because when I go to bed, I need him to be attracted to me. And then all of a sudden, further down the line of the relationship, when that laziness come up, now you got the bonnet on, lashes off. He like, who is this? He looking at you like, who are you? Because that's not who I signed up to be in a relationship with. That's not what you used to look like. You used to keep everything real, prestigious. You used to get in the bed, you used to spray perfume on. Okay, have your hair in a little clip, be well moisturized, well lotioned up when you get in the bed. You never want him to see you at your worst. And then as soon as that relationship starts to materialize, you start getting too lazy again to cook, to clean, to do all these things, and then also getting too lazy to put yourself together. This what makes men miserable. There's nothing worse than when a man is with a woman and what he signed up for in the beginning is not what he is in a relationship with. It's like a bait and switch. You see that woman that you was when he was hollering at you or when he was trying to get with you, that's what he's expecting you to be. Not a different version of that because you already got him. And you don't understand what's the sense. It's a problem. It's a problem. And then a lot of them like, oh, I put on this and I don't understand why, what the problem is because he don't even give me compliments anymore. He don't even do this. And you know why? Because he knows that whenever you are dressed up, it's not for him. It can't be for him. Because when it's only you and him around in the house, you look raggedy. I don't know how else to say it. When it's only the two of you around, you look raggedy. So when you're going out with his friends or with your friends, don't get me started when y'all going to brunch with your homegirls, how y'all look. Okay? Y'all going out with y'all homegirls and you look good and you talking about, oh, he didn't even tell me I look good. He didn't even tell me I'm attractive. No, because you look good for what? Not for him. He get the crusty version of you on a daily basis. But your homegirls get the fine version of you, and that's the version of you that he signed up for. and he's not reaping the benefits of that. You be waking up stuffing your eye. But when you're one of your homegirls, excuse me, all of a sudden you're some prestigious person. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. It's distasteful. You used to have on the nice stuff, the nice little, you know, stuff when you go to bed, or lingerie, or, you know, underwear, whatever it is. Now you just walk around with granny panties on, crusty. Nothing fun, nothing exciting, nothing for him to look at. And then you get mad when he looking at people on Instagram. That's the only time he see a beautiful woman, when he on Instagram. Well, my personality should be enough. It's not. Because when he signed up for you, it wasn't just your personality, it was also your looks. It was also that. Also that. And again, there's nothing worse than when he step out with you, other people think that you look so beautiful, or think you're so pretty. And the minute that you get in the door, listen, I know I'm not lying. I know I'm not lying. You have women who step out with their man, smell, they got on the best perfume they have, well lotioned up, okay, not ashy, nails done, hair done, because they going to an event, lashes done, makeup, face beat, all that, wig on, whatever it is that you wear, right? Whatever it is that you wear. And they out with their wife, and they're like, oh, baby, you look good. I can't wait to see you tonight. I can't wait to do this, and I can't wait to do that. And the minute that you hit the door after you went out with your man, shoes come off, wig come off, lashes come off. You tell him you got to go take a shower. You wash all the makeup off. And he like, but I didn't want you like this. I wanted you like how you was before. Oh, no, because my skincare, because this, I'm tired. I need to get in the bed. You taking the whole fun out of everything. He wanted to be with that version of you, not this one. This the one he get all the time. He thought you changed. He thought since you knew how to get yourself together tonight, that maybe you was feeling yourself, and he wanted to experience that version of you. Not this one that he used to. Not this one that let itself go. Not this one with the bonnet on. That's not what he said. He didn't say that. He told me. He didn't say that. It's a problem. It's a problem. And this is the next thing, right? So what's worse, right? What the worst thing is, again, you go out, you looking good. You with your man, you come in, you take everything off. That means that looking good was not for him. It means you don't value him. You don't value him at all. You don't value his opinion. You don't value his taste. It's going to make your man feel as though he is not good enough for the best version of you. He's only good enough for the crusty, raggedy, okay, not put together version of you. That's what it's going to make him feel like. And in turn, he's not going to be attracted to you. Because when you put on that makeup, he just remembered you when you was looking crusty. A lot of women have forgotten a very important detail of relationships. In the time of being so intimate and experiencing each other on the best level, a lot of women have forgotten that it's extremely important to be secretive in a certain aspect, right? It's not important to it's not, you shouldn't keep secrets, right? You shouldn't be secretive. But there's a certain level of secrecy when it comes to yourself that keeps you elite from the rest. I understand being comfortable in a relationship, but there's a difference between being comfortable and being complacent. Because complacency is another aspect that ruins relationships, that makes men miserable. You're so complacent. You're so used to him being around you, and you're so used to the connection that you guys have. He shouldn't be in the bathroom every time you're using it. He shouldn't memorize the smell. That should be secrecy. You want me to go a little deeper? I'm just gonna be real. When you have that time, he shouldn't be around. He shouldn't be able to visualize that. He shouldn't see it. He should know. He can know when it's occurring, obviously, for obvious reasons, but he shouldn't be able to visualize it. He shouldn't be able to. There should be that level of secrecy. It keeps things sacred. It doesn't keep things stagnant, the same. He doesn't see in every single aspect of you what else is there to explore. No, keeps things a little bit sacred. Even if you're in the house, you don't got to be perfect, but you could at least be a little bit put together. You could at least show up for him, still be attractive to him. A lot of women get complacent, and what happens? That's when they start saying, "You want to do what?" It's it's Tuesday at 8, it's Wednesday at 8:30. You can't wait? We only do that on Fridays. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Complacent. Same time, same day, same position, same all of that. I'm keeping it real, y'all. Nothing changes. Same thing. No spontaneity, no spark. When he like, "Hey, you know, let's do this." We got to go to the same spot, same place, same time, same this. And you already know what I like, so don't do nothing new. Complacency. It's boring. A lot of the spark in the relationship is dependent on the woman. I know, again, I know y'all don't want to hear that, but I'm only here to tell you what the truth is. A lot of the spark is dependent on you. Because a man is going to follow, in certain aspects, he's going to follow your lead sometimes. Especially because y'all get so damn miserable that he don't want to hear your mouth if he don't follow your lead. Why are you always forcing me? Why you always... A lot of keeping the spark is being random, being spontaneous, right? Changing it up, not being complacent, not letting him study you when it comes to intimacy. You can't study me. Oh, you thought I was going to do this? I'm not doing that. I'm doing this. So you could say, "Oh, wait, what happened? What happened? We just got together or something? Is this the same person?" It's necessary. Here's the next thing, okay? Because this goes with the complacency. I know some people gonna be mad, but for the people this is meant for, they're gonna internalize this because this is some good conversation. This is some sister talk, okay? Next thing that goes with the complacency, if we honest, I gotta put this one in bold letters. Again, I know some people gonna be mad, but I know it's gonna be appreciated. I know it's gonna, for the people who need it, it's gonna be appreciated. Nagging and complaining. Do I need to say that again? Nagging and complaining. Nagging and complaining makes men miserable. It's bad enough that you lazy. Okay? It's bad enough that you lazy. It's bad enough that you let yourself go. And he getting the broke down version of what he signed up for in the looks department. It's bad enough that you're complacent, boring, same time, same day, same place, lacking spontaneity. But what makes it worse is that you complain through it all. When he tries to have a conversation with you about it, you complain. When he tries to tell you, "Babe, You're not keeping the house clean how you used to. Or, dang, you know how long it's been since I taste your cooking? You haven't been cooking as much as you used to. You complain. When he tries to tell you, babe, how come we just came from the party and you got to take all that stuff off? I wanted to, be the one to help you with that. I wanted to be the one to experience that version of you. It's been a long time since you dressed up for me. You nagging and complaining. I'm tired. My head hurt. My feet hurt. I got to take my shoes off. My hair was too tight. My makeup is messing in my eyes. I got to be careful because of my skin. I need to wash all my makeup off. I can't do that. No, I need to just hurry up and take a shower because my back is hurting. Annoying. Annoying. You thought you was miserable, it makes him miserable. Cause he like, I don't even want to talk to her. He hear the teacher from Charlie Brown. Wah 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 wah. He like, I don't even want to talk to her because every time I talk to her, she get on my damn nerve. She always complain about something. Hey babe, why don't we do this? Why don't we, spice up to this, and why don't we spice up that? I can't. My back hurt, my leg hurt, my arm hurt, my head hurt. I got a headache. I'm tired. I'm this, I'm that. My shoulder hurt. Why you always want something? Why you always asking me? We just did it yesterday. Why you always nagging and complaining? It's interesting because when you're around your homegirls, when you're around your coworkers, when you're around your family, you're very aware of the type of person that you're coming across to be. Right? You understand that if somebody comes into work and they portray themselves as somebody who complains all the time, you don't want to be around them. Right? Like if you have a coworker at a job and they are always complaining or bothering or always bothered with something, you're like, "Oh gosh, look at Debbie Downer. She always complaining about something." Like you realize somebody who always has an issue with everything. And you categorize them as somebody you don't want to be around because it's like negative and annoying, right? But then you be with your man and you be negative and annoying. And don't think about the way that you're being perceived because after being with them for so long, it goes back to the same thing I was saying before. You're complacent and you don't care. What's the big deal? He's nobody to impress, forgetting that he is. Forgetting that he is somebody that impressed. Forgetting that when you first got into a relationship before you got lazy, you made sure that you were on top of things. You made sure that you didn't let yourself go. You made sure that you weren't complacent. You monitored how much you said to him because you didn't want to come off like you were nagging and complaining. You were very aware of yourself. You were very careful of how you were perceived when it came to your man. Let's not forget, because just like this comment says right here, let's remember what you won't do, somebody else will. You don't feel like cooking every night. You don't feel like cleaning all the time. She does. She will. You don't feel like being spontaneous. She does. She will. You don't feel like dressing up just to be in the house. She does, and she will. You don't feel like just being chill and being calm about things. You want to nag and complain. She don't. Because she realizes the importance of her being the best version of herself for her man. So while you thinking that you the best thing since sliced bread for your man, while you thinking that nobody else can replace you and you the best he can get, just remember that's not true. And then just like Mike Dub says, then y'all be heartbroken when it happened. I can't believe he did that to me. Why? Because if a woman get bored, if a woman feel like her man get complacent, If a woman tells her man all these complaints about himself and he don't change nothing for her, if he not spicing things up, if he's not more romantic, and if he's not doing all these things, she's ready to leave. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Your man be patient with you, explaining to you, babe, I feel like you're getting a little lazy. You're not cooking like you used to. You're not cleaning like you used to. All you doing is laying around. You be laying in the bed. And I'm not used to you being like that. I'm used to you being up and being at it. You start nagging and complaining. Well, I have to because this, and I always be doing everything. Why don't you do something for a change? Because I always do. How come you don't? Well, if you wanted it to be done, you should do it yourself. Then he says, babe, this is months at a time, babe. You're not, putting yourself together like you used to. You used to be real on point. You used to make sure that, you was, had it all together. Hair done, nails done, makeup done. You was on it. Nagging and complaining. Oh, well, why you expect so much from me? I can't do everything at once. I'm already doing this. Why you expecting me to do that? I'm tired. I'm this, babe. I feel like, you're not switching it up like you used to. I'm already used to what you gonna do. It ain't even fun no more. Well, you always ask me, why you always doing this? Why you always doing that? And then when he move on, you be shook. I can't believe he did this. I can't believe he did that. Not realizing, like a bathing soul said, that you single-handedly pushed him to somebody else because you made everybody else appear better than yourself. Just because being with you became complete misery. Misery. Being with you became misery. It became boring, not fun. You became unattractive, not willing to listen. All you do is nag. All you do is complain. All you do is you're annoyed at everything. Can never chill. You got no chill. And you're really a good girl. That's what he signed up for. But then you got lazy. Then you got complacent. And he can't talk to you about it. So what else are you expecting him to do? Stay within the misery? Some men stay in the misery. Some men genuinely stay in the misery. Some men outwardly display the misery so that you then become miserable, so then you leave them, so then they're free, but they weren't the ones who did the dirty work. All of these things are important. Nobody said that relationships was 1, 2, 3, let's go. It takes dedication. It takes time. It takes focus. It takes putting the other person's feelings before yourself sometimes. Before how you feel sometimes. You could be tired. Listen, nobody can make you wrong for being tired. But when you tired all the time, nagging and complaining and all that kind of stuff, what you expect to happen? What do you expect to what do you expect to happen? I'm going to invite just a couple people up. I don't want to be on here for too long, but I want to invite just a couple people up just to be a part of the conversation. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of these comments. It's Mike Dub says women feel entitled that their man should accept their change because life happens. It's true. And life does happen. And sometimes that's how cheating happens. Because nobody said that you have to become boring. You can age and not become boring. Time can grow and you cannot become boring. It's important to still keep that spark between the two of you. It's very important. Mac Jr. says, River girl, you are the truth. P.S. I don't mean to call you girl, but you got a and with all this troop, you feel me? I don't know what you said there, but thank you. Thank you. And to be honest, what's wrong with a lot of the females sometimes is that you actually need your man. A lot of the times you're rejecting him and you're saying, oh, I'm tired, or you always want this, or you always want that. And what you don't realize is that you actually need him. Sometimes you need a little attitude adjustment and you running from it, walking away from it, thinking that, You don't need it, and don't realize that the reason why you feel so down is because you two have not actually connected in that way, and you actually need it more than you think you do. But that's a conversation for another day. But it's the truth. A lot of women don't realize how much they actually need that connection between their spouse, and they think that the reason why they're miserable all the time is because of the fact that he just asking so much of them, not realizing that the reason why you are actually um acting that way is because you are rejecting him, and it's doing something to you internally. It's messing with you. A lot of you guys are saying that, oh, he don't compliment me, or he don't tell me that I'm pretty, or whatever. In the validation that you're actually seeking from your man, you would have gotten intimately without those words being said. But because you always saying no, you don't experience that. So then you feel like you're lacking. Then you feel less than. Then you start complaining in the misery all over again, not realizing that you should have said yes. Not realizing your headache wasn't that bad. Not realizing you really needed him in that way. If we're being honest, just got to be real. Elijah says pointing out issues in the smallest things imaginable, basically looking for something to be wrong, just miserable. And again, a lot of the misery starts from you you neglecting him and telling him no. Because when you're in a certain frame of mind, it's a lot easier for you to say, okay, babe. It's a lot easier for you to be calm spirited if you realize. It's a lot easier for you to just take things as they come. You be chilling. But you see, once you start rejecting him, getting lazy and all this kind of stuff, you become an entirely different person. And don't realize that the root of your problem is the same thing that you're rejecting. What is up, my brother Mike Dub? How you doing?
What's up?
I saw you real active in this. You were real active in this conversation. I know. I know you know.
Yeah, well, I've been through it. That's why. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like a lot of I feel like a lot of people have been through it in different ways, and a lot of women have been through it as well. But just they feel like, oh, he's just always asking for something, or oh, why do I always have to, please my man, or why do I always have to do things for his benefit, and not realizing that it's a two-way street for real. Like, it's genuinely not a one-way street. That's where a lot of women get it twisted. They feel like, oh, I'm not getting this from him, so why should I do this? And he can't give you what he's not receiving. It's like a circle.
yeah,
You give, he gives. You give, he gives. You give, he gives. You're happy, he's happy. You're happy, he's happy. You're happy, he's happy. And a lot of women just want to be happy the whole circle, forgetting there's another person
yeah.
involved.
No, I think sometimes they get too consumed about their wants.
Hmm. I
It's like,
agree.
well, he should do this. Well, he should do this for me. It's like, okay, well, what about him?
Exactly.
Well, he should know. Well, he should know. Know what? Every time he
Right.
try to talk to you, you sit there and say, "I'm fine."
Or complain, or you start an
Like
argument, or
you.
go ahead.
Yep. No, my things. Like I said, I'm still in the hotel. That's got 3 more weeks left, but yeah, it's kind of spotty over here.
Oh,
But it's like one of the things that you didn't bring up, and is the communication part. Like you always sit there and say all the time, it's like, "Oh, I wish he would just ask me what's wrong." Well, yeah, well we do, but every time we ask you, it's "I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine." Then as soon as I stop, oh, he doesn't try. What do you mean I don't try? I just asked you 3 times what was wrong, and you still don't want to give me an answer. I'm not gonna sit here all day and sit here and pick at you what's wrong, because that even that makes you mad.
right. Why you keep asking me?
Now, I can understand if you just don't want to talk about it because you're not in the mental space. How hard is it not to say that?
Exactly. Exactly. And this is the thing, like, when it comes to being in a relationship, this is a part of laziness as well, right? You don't feel like having the conversation. You don't feel like going into this. You don't feel like explaining what's wrong, but you should feel like it, because if you don't, how is this person going to know how to assist you? And again, if the whole point of you saying I'm fine is just so you have the opportunity to go ahead and nag and complain all over again, it's not going to help, because he's going to stop asking what's wrong. He for sure going to stop asking you.
I think I, I think sometimes that they don't fully understand what they're doing.
Exactly. Exactly. That was my point a little bit earlier that I was saying, like when I first started, was that we can't hurt you for what you don't know. But if you do want to have a long-standing relationship, it's important for you to gain knowledge with the opposite person. It's important for you to figure it out. It's important for you to find out, because men are always here finding things out, finding out the way that women think, finding out from other women different perspectives when it comes to dealing with a woman. Like, men are always in these developmental stages. Men will be on YouTube watching how to build stuff, how to make stuff that they have no idea or no plan on even making, just because they're into development. And so it's important for
Yep.
women who want to be in long-term relationships, and not just be in long-term relationships, but be in long-term happy relationships where in 10 years your man still likes you. It's important to be in
Yep.
constant development, because no one likes to be bored. And again, I have to say, when a woman is bored, she be out. She'll cheat and say it's because of you. But when it's the other way around, women get shook. I can't believe, how could you do that? Well, it's because of you. So because of this, you did this to me. All of a sudden, they have no idea how somebody could possibly do that.
Well, I also think sometimes is that, and this goes for the ones that do know, they do know what they're doing. They just don't want to do anything about it because they're comfortable in the way they're living. They
Mm-hmm.
have no regard for how their man feels.
I like.
And I hate to
Mhm.
say it, but there's a lot of women who fall into the trap. I got the man, I got the kid. Why do I even bother even trying?
Exactly. Just like
Like
Kashan says.
as, as soon as their checklist is checked off, they don't see a point in trying anymore.
Yeah. Just like Kashan, he said, because they already have you, what do they need to keep working? It's the diluted thinking, and it's very true. Moses Andrew says she was excited to be with me for years, and I noticed a decline in her, never wanting to do the things she used to do, never wanting to be beautiful and close around me. Then I started hearing I'm. Oh, so we're gonna have to wait for the next part of this message, but it is that, and I don't know why women are running to get comfortable, right? They're running to not impress. But I think what a lot of women forget is that there's women who are not wired that way. There is women who want to be fine for themselves. So if a man has an opportunity to choose from a woman who is waiting to get comfortable or for a woman who is fine all the time, who is he going to
Yeah.
want to be with?
But what I don't get is though is this: why are women so comfortable taking their man's desire for them for granted?
That's the number one question, because and the number one answer is usually because they have the box. And here's another thing. I saw this video, and I'm gonna do a reaction to it, but I saw this video where a woman was trying to say, she was with her man, and Hustler, I see you in the back. I'm gonna bring you up and just as soon as I finish this point. And she was like, I see women looking at my man, some tall guy, whatever. I see some women looking at my man because he fine or whatever, but what they don't realize is that they could never handle his attitude, and they can never do this, and they would bring him right back to me. Ma'am, you're
No,
not
that's
that
his ego
special.
talking.
I
That's
hate
his
to say it,
ego
but you're
talking.
not that special.
It's
women
ego.
women really think that they're so, like, women think that if they have a good personality, that it's impossible for another woman to be extremely beautiful and then still have a bomb personality, and that's not true.
But what's also funny is that a lot of us want to sit there and say, "I'm a good woman." It's like I'm pretty sure a lot of people would beg to differ.
That's another thing. Are we
Like,
trusting your judgment, or should we ask all the people you've been in a relationship with?
yeah, because the best way to see if you're a good person, you don't go by what you think. You go what your peers and people around you think.
Facts. No, that's facts. And but a lot of women think that they are the best thing since sliced bread. Like they really swear that, their
Yep.
man cannot find anything ever better than them, and that is not true. There's a lot of listen. We can go on Instagram right now. This is not even a debate. I can scroll on my Instagram, on my feed, and I'm going to find millions of beautiful women, like gorgeous, gorgeous, pretty, cute, bad, slim, thick. You're going to see there's a lot of beautiful women in the world. Too many. And to be honest, some
Yep.
men really don't care about the personality. If you're quiet and you don't talk, they don't care. As long as she look good. So a lot of women are trying to step forward with their personality, and this is what makes them so amazing. And it's like, but if we want to be really honest, if that's all you got, you kind of don't have much. Because some men don't even care about that. Some men
And
don't want a woman with too much
yeah,
personality. So
and I wanted to touch on something that you didn't say, but a lot of men feel some type of way about it.
sure.
I'm even guilty of it. Um, you want you met your husband or man the way he is, but you want to change him in a way that benefits you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because he don't want you to change. He wants you to be the same person that you were when we first met. Now I understand you're gonna go through trials and tribulations and all that,
Sure.
and like you're gonna evolve. You're not gonna be the same person you were 20 when you're 40. But when you do a complete 180 on somebody, that's where it's a problem.
Bait and switch. And that's what a lot of men are experiencing. And that's why a lot of men are miserable. That's why you see a lot of men who be with a woman for like a long time. And most of the time, like when they're getting married, they already have kids with the woman. They've been with the woman for a long time. And the common dialogue is, yeah, man, I'm just trying to do the right thing. It's not I'm so in love. It's not I'm so happy to be with her. It's not oh man, I'm just trying to do the right thing.
I think men these days understand the duty aspect of marriage than
Duty.
women.
And the problem is that women are going into the relationship more emotional, right? They're emotionally entering the relationship, but then they're experiencing a man who is only with them out of duty. And so a man who is in a relationship with a woman out of duty is operating out of need basis. Right? Like we need the bills paid. We need this stuff done, but you don't need me to tell you you're beautiful. You don't need me to hug you all the time. You don't need me to kiss you up all the time. That's not need based. So a man who's with a woman need based, a woman who's like emotionally involved in that relationship is going to get her feelings hurt all the time. Her feelings are always going to be hurt because I'm not receiving all of this emotion from you, and that's because his emotions checked out a long time ago when you was doing what? Let me go ahead and click it just in case y'all forgot what it was. His emotions checked out when you started the nagging and complaining all over again. His emotions checked out when you got lazy. His emotions checked out when you started letting yourself go and you got complacent. So now you're expecting him to be that same romantic, emotionally involved person that he was when you got together, but you're not the same person anymore either. That's the problem. Hustler, I see you there. I don't know if you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
What's up? Long time no talk.
Yeah, where you been hiding at? Hmm?
Listen, I was on vacation. Okay.
You didn't invite us, but
I'm
I'll
sorry.
forgive you.
Listen, I invited you guys. Okay. I showed you guys my mango that I got. I showed y'all some stuff. Okay. But for the last week, I had to just live it up. I had to.
Well, we ain't mad at you.
I would love to hear your perspective though. I know you have something coming to say.
Of course. Now, your topic was what is something that makes men miserable in relationships?
Yeah.
Well, I could think of something that I've noticed over a while, and it's something I like to call control masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by control masculinity? It's where a woman wants masculinity, she wants leadership, she wants dominance, but she wants it on her terms when it benefits her and when she needs it the most.
Yep.
So she expects you to be Mr. Beta Male Simp almost 12 hours a day, 24 hours a day, but you get your 1 hour of fame to be Mr. Masculine, Mr. Dominant when she needs you for something. When it comes time to pay the bills, oh, now you're masculine. Time to fix the car, now you're masculine. The plumbing needs fixing, now it's masculine.
Right.
Time to throw down in the streets, oh, now you masculine. She wants it when it benefits her. So she expects you to turn your masculinity off within the household, but for other reasons, turn it back on. You can't have it like that. A man's supposed to be masculine 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's the same thing with femininity. And I was listening to this interview by Lisa Ray, and she was not Lisa Ray and Vivica A. Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about some conditional femininity, meaning I'll be feminine when the right man comes along. I'll be feminine when the right guy catches feelings. I'm like, are you freaking serious? So a man got to go above and beyond just so you can be in your femininity. BS.
And
Shout out to Pink Book Lessons who made this clear. You can't just turn femininity on and off when you get around certain people. There has to be consistency. So that's BS right there. There is no conditional femininity, and there damn sure ain't no conditioned masculinity. But you know, they want to control it. They want to be able to turn off when they need it. So that can make a man feel like a piece of crap when he's in a relationship. You can't be beta male sim today and then be masculine tomorrow. There's no consistency with that. I see that a lot of times. Same shit almost happened to me because a woman was trying to be all controlling, but I put her in her place like, no, you ain't gonna do me like that. Straighten up, I'm walking the hell out of here. We haven't spoken in 6 months. So there's that story. I'll say that for another time. I have another story to share, but I'll save that for later. Go ahead.
Okay. No, well, the thing is, okay, and this is another thing. This is another part of the conversation. I kind of said this in the beginning, but that there's a lot of talk going on, right? When it comes to different channels, platforms, TikTok, Instagram, like there's all these relationship conversations. And let's just be clear, everybody who's talking about it doesn't have the right to. Okay. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to speak from my space and say, you can only listen to me. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of people who are speaking about relationships and only know toxic relationships or only know like the 2 relationships or 3 kind of relationships that they've been in and are spreading false narratives that are not true. Especially when it comes to masculine and feminine. We keep seeing it all the time. It's just like high value. You see it everywhere, right? Everybody wants to talk about it. People who don't even have money talk about high value men. Like it's very saturated, right? But something that needs to be clear is that there's masculine and feminine traits in everyone, right? There's traits that are considered masculine, traits that are considered feminine. The balance is necessary. However, in a woman, you are supposed to be 90% feminine and have operate in 10% masculine traits. What do you mean by that, Rivah? No, she's supposed to be 100% feminine. I mean that if she is outside, possibly in the hood, she needs to know how to protect herself. If there's no man around to protect her, she needs to know how to move. Okay, she needs to know how to put the car in reverse and back into the parking spot so she has easy access to leave so she can hold herself down. That's extremely important. Just like as a man, you need to be 90% masculine, 10% feminine. Why would a man need to be 10% feminine? A feminine trait is like if a man is alone with a baby and he's nurturing his child, that would be considered a feminine trait, right? Hushing the baby, burping the baby, feeding the baby. That's what people would consider feminine traits. So it is important to know your place. It's extremely important to know your place. But conditional femininity, it's like if a man says, I don't feel like being masculine today, so I need you to pay the bills. A woman will be like, is he crazy? What's wrong
My
with
point
him?
exactly.
And so it doesn't make sense. It's either you are or you're not. So I completely agree with that. I mean, you either are something or you're not. I can't get with a man and he's going to make me be less of who I am because of who he is. No, I'm going to be who I am. But if you are not resonating with me, then that's okay. That's completely okay. But I'm not going to change me for you in a negative way. I'm not going to downplay myself. Oh, I usually cook and clean, but I'm scared he's going to take advantage of me, so I'm not going to cook and clean. No, I want to eat my food. That's why I'm going to cook, because I want to eat my food. No, I'm going to clean because I don't like a nasty place. But you have women downplaying, and I'm going to tell you a little secret. Some women are just saying these things because it sounds good. But if we want to be real, some women just really don't know how to cook and clean. So they hide behind, I'm not going to do this for no man, so he take advantage of me. No, you're not going to do it for a man because you don't know how. And I'm going to call some people out. They're going to be mad. But I'm going to say it anyway. I see a lot of people cooking the meals that they see from J Nice page. Okay, if you don't know who she is, I don't know what to tell you. They cooking the same chicken Alfredo. They cooking the same salmon. They cooking the same ramen bowls. And it's all from one cookbook. You need to learn how to cook on your own as well. It's nothing wrong with being influenced. But y'all cooking from one person's cookbook and acting like you the worldwide chef and you wifey material. Using about 2-3 pounds of butter in one meal. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. So if we're being honest, a lot of women are fronting in real life. They fronting on social media. They're fronting with Facetune, acting like they look something like they don't. They're getting the bodies done. They look, you would look at them and think they're healthy, can't even run a lap. Okay, just being honest. A lot of people are fronting, and it's like you have to dial it back and just be real. And how can you be real if you're in your ego and defensive? Only way you can be real is if you're humble. But humility right now is like woman's kryptonite. It's just like accountability. How dare you tell me to be humble? How dare you tell me to be accountable for my actions? How dare you?
Right. And you want the man to be accountable for all the dumb things he does. See, there's no balance in that. There's no consistency with that.
Not only what he does, what she does too.
Oh yeah, right. You're accountable for her bad decisions as well as your bad decisions. No, it don't work like that.
Actions. Be accountable for our actions. That's the mentality.
Anything that goes wrong is automatically your fault. It does not matter. It don't even matter if you had a play in it. It's still your fault.
Right. You want to blame good men because you had a kid by a man you knew was not fit to be a father because good men don't step up. No, they ain't stepping up for your happy ass. That's the bottom line. They ain't stepping up for your happy ass. That's how that goes. There are good men out there that just ain't coming for you specifically, but they want to say it's all our fault. They want to blame us.
I can't say that because you mean to tell me over the past 5 years you have not met one good man? Not one.
They meet him, right? They meet him, but they don't know what to do with him. So then they turn him into the ruthless man because they give him attitude. Okay, like when a woman is so used to toxic, she'll see a good guy and make him toxic. Like she has to find his toxic traits for it to be normal to her. And then she'll say, see, they all the same. And it's no. The common denominator is really you. You make them behave this way. You find that button to push and then push it.
Right.
Peace is born to those who are used to chaos.
Exactly.
Not only that, you got those rare cases where women will take a bad boy, turn him into a decent, respectable gentleman, get bored with him, and go back to the same hood dudes that he used to be like. That happens too.
Listen, I gotta say this. Just based off of what you just said. They will get this guy who was for the streets, right? Willingly for the streets because he had it like that. Okay, he could pick, choose, and refuse. He had it like that. And they will get him in the house where he is in the house with her every single night. She don't have to worry. She knows where to find him. And she will nag him back to the street. What the hell is wrong with you?
Facts.
What's wrong with you?
Facts.
You know what I think it is? I think they're addicted to the emotional high of wondering where the fuck he is.
No, they need to be there's women that need to be on the edge. That's the only way they'll
Exactly.
act right.
The emotional high.
Yeah, that's the only way they'll be able to act right is when it's threatened. But once they actually have him, they're like, oh, he just be in my face all day. Okay, but don't you remember when he was with so and so and was so and so and he was texting you talking about I'm gonna slide through? Now he's with you, looking at you in your face, and you don't know what to do. So do you really want a good man?
So let me ask you this, River.
Yeah.
Based off what you just said, so you feel like it's the chicken or the egg? You feel like the Pookies is created, or you feel like they already existed before the situation, or they got affected?
I think it can be both, but I think a lot of it a lot of the Pookies are created just
Okay.
based off of their experience with a girl, you know, because a lot of guys, right? They are and I just say this because I've always been like that cool girl. Like not to I don't want to say it misconstrue it, but like even at high school and stuff like that, I always understood the difference between the women and men. And so I was easier, like it was easier for me to communicate with like my male friends or them to say whatever to me because they know I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're crazy. Why would you say that? I'm gonna actually be listening. My boy cousins as well. I have a lot of boy cousins. And so when they would have conversations, a lot of them, if you really listen, the first girl that they ever liked, they were head over heels for. Nothing that they wouldn't do for her. Oh, she was so perfect. She was so amazing. And when she messed up, that was it. They learned the
Right.
nature of women. So they say, oh, that's what women are capable of. Oh, nobody's going to get me like that again. And
Yeah.
that's when it becomes what it is.
And then you can ask a
Correct.
lot, and then you can ask a lot of men, do you get more, do you get further with a woman by being nice or being a semi asshole?
An asshole. An asshole.
Always an asshole.
Facts.
And then men say, why? You know, why is it that women like the asshole? And it's because you're treating her as if you are the one with the options. Anytime a man treats that woman like she's the only option, like she's the best thing ever created, it goes to her head. That's why women are not good with power because they don't know what to do with it. They would just mess up the whole thing. Right, it's not necessarily all women because you have some women who are so innately feminine because of their moms, because of their upbringings, because of maybe culture, that even if a man is head over heels for them, they still don't come out of frame, but that's rare.
But
Most
I also,
women, if a guy even look at them in the grocery store, oh, he all up on me. I don't know why. Oh, I can't go nowhere without men talking to me. And it's like he just said, excuse me. He wasn't even trying to holler at you. He never said he liked you. Like, what are you talking about? So, I don't know. A lot of women, again, don't experience good relationships because of themselves. To be honest, they don't know what to do with it. They will get a guy, like I just said, a guy who he was picking, choosing, and refusing. He had like about 5, 8 chicks at a time. Okay. And he decided, I'm going to settle with you. I'm going to be with you. You want monogamy, even though I'm not naturally monogamous, I'm going to give monogamy to you. And then the first month they'll be good with that guy, second month, but after a certain time, they start acting like he whack, like he don't have options, like he's boring. They forget who they were dealing with because he's showing her something else, and they push them right back out there.
you know
They
what's
just
funny
throw them
about
to the
that?
street.
You know what's funny about that? It's almost it's almost like people, as soon as they find out that you're not going anywhere, they treat you completely different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially women.
No, it's
Not
like,
really
oh, you
men.
ain't go,
Men don't do
you're
that.
not, oh, you ain't going anywhere. I could treat you however I want because no matter what I do, you're still gonna be here.
You see, when a man finds value in a woman, regardless of anybody else see it, regardless of if his homeboys see it, whoever sees it, if all he has to do is see it. Once he sees it and you maintain that person, you're good.
Right.
Just maintain. Don't move. Just
Right.
stop. Pause. Stand right there. But with a woman, it's the opposite. She will see value in you more than anybody else around her. But then the more she's around you, and even if you stay the exact same, all of a sudden, if she get bored, then it's like, oh, I don't know. Why he walk like that? Why he this? Why he that? Then she starts seeking validation from her friends. And if they're not, giving her that, or perfect example. Perfect example. And y'all men are gonna know I'm not lying. Okay. You ever be in a relationship with somebody and the relationship kind of got this way where you men have gotten miserable, and maybe y'all go out or something, like y'all go to a club or whatever, then all of a sudden she come back home and she all over you.
Yeah.
Girls was trying to holler at you, then all of a sudden she trying to be her best self. It's because that was the validation that she needed to continue. Because on her own merit, she couldn't find the value in you. This is how normal women's mindsets are. They need like constant assurance that you're the best guy or you're the best option. It's stupid. It's stupid.
I'm gonna touch on the point that you made earlier, like when you were saying the bad guy, and then he turned good for her, and then he had to switch back bad. Like that was my situation. Like I was always in the streets growing up, but then I went to the army because I got my baby mama pregnant. So I'm like, okay, let me straighten up. Once I start straightening up, she was like, "This ain't no fairy tale life." Like she was complaining. I'm like, "But what you want me to do? We came from the hood. Your mama from the hood. You think we supposed to just go from A to Z, like be rich, like immediately? It's a process."
Right.
So
Yeah,
it started
they
going
do.
bad. Yeah.
They do.
On my mind, they think it's supposed to be overnight. It's like, hold on, bro. This you don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm jumping in trash can. I'm doing crazy shit in the army. Like if you been in the
Right.
military, you know.
I'm in the military, so
Yeah,
I'm
he's
in the
in the
military,
military.
so
See, what branch you in?
I'm in the army.
I was in the army too. Yeah, so I'm in the
See?
army. I'm doing all crazy shit. I'm like, okay, you going home? I'm going home. House dirty, hellish. I'm like, okay, bro, this shit ain't working. So feel me? We get a divorce. I go straight to the streets, but I don't go to the streets like that. I go to the streets because I mean that's just where I'm from. Like I go back to Oakland, and my brothers and all them they move in. They need a spot to stay. Come here, come stay with me. I ain't about to let y'all be out here thugging. Nah, come here. And then she start falling back in love with me. You feel me? It's like what you find this attractive? Like you find it that it's better for me to be in this situation. But it's the same. My mama. First time I touched a gun because my mama handed me a 38. She wanted me to, you feel me, smoke my brother's daddy. I'm like, I hope this nigga don't show up. You ain't never showed up any other day, nigga. You better show up today. You feel me? It's like they put us in the streets. I ain't never really, for me, if a real nigga like me, I've been in the streets all my life. I don't tell my youngsters to go on the streets. I wear a grill and a gold and all that shit because like we got Hustler on here, we got Mike on here, we got Rivah on here, we got a female, we got an intellect, and we got an intellectual Caucasian. We got a diverse group, you know what I mean?
Right,
And me,
right.
we got a Pookie and a Ray. But I didn't did college, I didn't did army, but I identify with them because I feel like they're unspoken for. I feel like it's too much divisiveness.
I agree with you. I feel the same way about that too. I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding between the two, and also kind of, I know this kind of off topic, but I also kind of feel like it's like a sense of hierarchy, and I don't like it. That's why sometimes I'll be talking and I'm like, y'all all want the man with money, but do y'all really? Because y'all be fighting over the man who's in the street. It's not about the money. It's about how he carries himself. That's really attractive. So
No,
that's why people can be talking about, like, what's her name? I don't want to call nobody name, but City Girl, when she talking about Diddy, you know what I'm saying? It can be all this thing because he's a billionaire, but at the same time, who's her baby daddy though? Like, let's be real. Same way with Sierra. No disrespect to any of these people, but we just got to talk about what we see. She was head over heels for Future. It was no question in her mind. If he would have said, "I want to marry you," she would have married him. But then they want to act like Russell is so much better than him. Let's just be honest. Like, to who? Because she thought he was a good suit. That's why she got a baby for him. She was with Bow Wow forever. Did she have a baby for Bow Wow? No. She had a baby for Future. So obviously she saw value in him. Obviously all his baby mamas saw value in him. Okay? He got a lot of baby mamas. So we have to be honest about these things. It's not about resources. It's really not. It's really about how that person carries himself. Once a man, it doesn't matter what aspect he's in. Sometimes, oh gosh, don't come for me, y'all, but just hear me out. Okay, hear me out, men on the panel, men who are listening to the replay. Sometimes the men with money are covering up for something. They need the money.
Yeah.
When they get the woman, it's because they have the money. There's other men who don't need the money. They'll be with women and women will pay for everything just because of that man's value and what she sees in him. I don't know, maybe he got, BDE, maybe whatever it is. Okay, maybe he's slanging. I don't know.
But but
Whatever it is. But
you
once
know
a
what it
woman
is.
finds value in that man, wealth and all that kind of stuff is secondary. And this is the last name I'm gonna drop, but just look at Riri. She was with a man who was so wealthy overseas, like extreme, like he was like a billionaire, literally a billionaire. And she was like, "No, I'm good." And she's with somebody who doesn't have the same amount of wealth that she does, way less money than she has. Did that change the way that she sees him? No, it doesn't, because once a woman is secure, I don't need your money, because if I already have it, then we're good. But the men that lead with the money, that's why a lot of times they have a lot of issues, because you can't let that money drop. Because if that money drops, she's gonna be like, you're broke ass. I
That's
wasn't
not
with you for that.
that the Riri the Riri thing is a one in a million thing
No, it's
because
not. I could name another person.
well, I'm talking about like it's rare. It's only celebrity
It's
type thing
not. It's
where
not.
the woman makes more money.
It's not. Nurses do it all the time. I don't want to get too deep into that conversation, but okay, so I'm Jamaican, right? So we have a saying, like, it's called mind man. Like, a woman will mind a man, which means a woman will take care of him. Like, she'll pay his bills, like she'll do everything for him. He don't really got to do nothing. Like, John could just be in the street hanging with his boys all day, and she will like buy him a car. She will, pay for his, she will literally give him money just because of his existence, because of whatever it is that he's providing for her. So it's really not a rarity, but people act like it doesn't exist because they don't want that to become the norm, obviously, for society. They don't want other women continuing that. But it's very normal. Like, a lot of women live that lifestyle because, just like with a man, that's their way of having access to a certain type of man. So they pay their way, because maybe he'll find somebody who's more pretty. Maybe he'll find somebody with a better body. Maybe he'll find somebody that know how to put it down better, but he's not going to find somebody that's going to pay his rent. So even if he's sleeping around, she's still going to be the number one option because she has the money. Same way that men do it, women do it too. And it's not just a celebrity thing.
Sound like a bit of a role reversal.
Yeah. And it happens.
Well, if you really think about it, any advantage that you have, you're going to use it. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
That goes for men or women. Any advantage you have, you're going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that advantage means that you can get what you want, why would you not use it?
That's the point. That's the whole point. But people try to act like it's not a thing with women and men, but it is a thing. Like, it's literally a thing. Like, women do it. And as a hairstylist, I really know. Like,
Well,
women are willing.
Usually because there's a negative stereotype that usually if a woman has a lot more money, and I was talking about spectacularly a lot more money than a man, there's a lot of attitude and disrespect that comes with it.
Yeah, there is. There is, because it's a control mechanism. So there is, but in some aspects, there's not. Listen, let me tell you something.
You're right.
I gotta break this down. It
makes us feel emasculated when a woman's making more money than us. So she might not be the issue, but it's an ego thing for us men sometimes,
Right. The thing is, okay, so he's saying describing cougars. Okay, so I want to talk about this too, right?
I've had cougars, so I know.
Sometimes it's cougars, yes. And I heard somebody say, like, it's only big girls. That's not true. The girl don't have to be big. She don't have to be older than you. And she don't got to be ugly. Okay? It's just if you are supplying a need for her, she will do anything for you. There are women who would just do anything for a man just because he's him. That's just the truth. And I think that the people who have a hard time resonating with that or understanding that lifestyle is because they just haven't had that experience. Because it's like there's a plethora of people who do that. And I think it also depends on where you're from too, because John just said something about California. You're from Cali, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's a really big place. That's a big city, right? I lived in New York, so I know, like, and I live in Miami now. So big cities. When it's bigger cities, it's kind of, I feel like it's a lot more, I won't say more common, but I feel like more people know about it. Stuff like that because they experience so many different lifestyles, so many different people. So it's very much that. I mean, like, there's some women who can be like the baddest girl. Like, okay, perfect example. Perfect example. ATL. ATL, right? There's nothing Nunu wouldn't do for T.I. There's nothing she wouldn't do for him. And she was like the prized possession. Every guy wanted her. Every guy wanted to holler at her. This, that. She had money. She had this. She was always willing to give whatever it is to be around him. And it's just because he was
Okay.
providing emotional, like something emotional for her. So she was willing to do anything. And that's how it is for a lot of these situations, right? If a guy is slanging and a woman need that all the time, she's giving you money. If a guy is emotionally invested and he just listens to you, some women are spending money. If like whatever need that is necessary for it to be met, they would do it.
She
That's
giving
why
game. Tune in. She giving game.
and look at this. Chapter 9 said great sex will make some women do anything for a man. It'd be one time. Y'all seen the video? Y'all seen the video that went viral about the lady who was saying, don't let him touch the bottom. Y'all seen that video?
No,
Don't
not
worry
yet.
about it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna do a reaction to it. I'm gonna find it and do a reaction to it. But this
No,
comment is true.
that's true. Because I think the third time me and my wife had sex, she literally looked at me and said, "You're not going anywhere."
Okay, because it's one because that's what I'm trying to say. Like, in the same works vice versa too.
No, oh yeah.
You know? Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. Because I think it's possible for a man, but it's very different. Because a man it's hard for a man to believe that's the best vagina in the world. He don't believe that. Right? Like a
No.
man's
No,
mind is made up. There's no way that this is the best that there is in the entire universe. That
It's
might
like
not
with
usually
be
a
possible.
with a man, it's
what she
like
does. It's usually what she does during sex that makes it good. It's not particularly her vagina, because vagina,
Right.
vagina, but what she does with it,
right,
it makes the difference.
Like a
right.
man will be like,
Because
"Oh yeah, this is great," but like he'll see a girl who walk past and he'll be like, "I don't know, she look like she got it." You know, like that's how a man's mind is made up, but a woman is not. Once you imprint, it's over. It's over. She'll be married thinking about a guy. And I
yes,
have a whole
some
different
get, but some
stream. I mean, we kind of getting off topic, but we talk about men being miserable in relationships, and we breaking it down, but we might have to have a different conversation about it. But to be real, like there's a lot of women who are in relationships and they actually belong to a different man.
wait, run that through me again.
There's a lot of women who are in relationships with A, right? With man A,
Oh,
but they actually belong to man C. Because
Hustling way
man
too
C,
much.
man C imprinted on them. The relationship didn't work out, but mentally she's still with man C. But man A didn't know about man C, thought she was a good woman, maybe married her, had kids with her. She been with man A for about 10 years. But if man C call her tomorrow, she's leaving man A.
kind of like Russell Wilson and Sierra with Future. I guess Russell Wilson is the man C, and I guess Future is the man A. She loves Russell Wilson, but she's for Future. Kind of like that.
Yeah. I don't know if
Okay,
that's her.
that
I
kind
don't
of
know if that's her disclaimer. I don't know if that's how she feels, but for the sake of the example, correct.
okay. I see.
And it could be
Makes
10
sense
years,
It's
now.
pretty
20
much
years,
saying,
30 years, however long, and she will always belong to
pretty
that other
much that was
person.
not her first option. That would pretty much it's not her first option. But if this dude calls, she would break up with that dude in a heartbeat.
Sometimes it's not about the first option though.
But since that, not
Sometimes it's just about the imprint. Because a man can like it sounds so weird saying imprint, but a man can like make an imprint on a woman, and maybe she was with that other guy before. Maybe she was
Hmm.
cheating and cheated with this guy. And now she experienced a different level of just intimacy, sometimes just intimately, but also connection, vibe, energy with this person, exchanging time with this person. And she's like, damn, he's special, ain't he? He's a special kind of man. I never experienced this kind of man in my life. How can he do this and do that and do this and do that? Who is he? Is he in my brain? How does he know what I want? How does he know what I'm thinking? But she was actually with somebody else from before who was the first option. Now it got her twisted. Every man that she's with, she's trying to make him become that other man. And maybe that other man didn't even want her. Maybe he just slept with her one time.
That's a
Right.
trap. That's a trap. Because sometimes, because I strongly believe, like, if you have a side person, they will always sing amazing when you're having issues with their main relationship.
That's true too. But I just think that there's some men who are just really amazing. I'm just being honest.
Hmm.
That and let me tell you what makes them amazing. What makes them amazing is their ability to understand the female mind and how it's set up. That's what makes them amazing.
That's crazy. I was just
It's
talking
the
about.
same. John over there losing his shit right now.
Right.
John is
Go ahead.
losing it.
Go ahead.
But it's the same exact thing for a woman to a man. It's the same thing. You know, there's a lot of people who be in my DM. My DMs is a crazy place. And I'm not saying that to brag in the least bit, because I could really do without it, right? I've gone into my DMs one time and I was frightened and I had to run out, okay? Because it was very gross. But it's the same thing. It's not just about the look. The look is one part, but it's more about the mind. Like if a man finds a woman who understands the male mind, she's top tier. So if a woman finds a man that understands the female mind, he's top tier. If you can get into my brain and connect with me, you're something special. And vice versa. So that's what it really is. It's really about that connection that some men know it because they study it, right? They're very like in tune, like they're very aware. Like I need to know, I want to know how to conquer women. Some men, that's their goal. Like while people are studying other stuff, they're like, I want to know how to make her go crazy intimately. I want to know how women think. I want to know how they move. I want to know how this. I want to know, and then they act on it. Some men don't care to know that. Some men don't care about getting into a woman's brain, understanding how her mind works, understanding, and then in turn they end up complaining and saying, I don't know why women act like this. And it's like, because you don't know. You literally don't know. But if you do know, you have an advantage to women, to all women. And it's the same thing with women to men, which is why I come on here and then I get shook when I see women telling me, oh, you know, pick me, you don't like women. I'm like, y'all need to just listen to what I'm telling you, because what I'm telling you is going to make you set apart. It's not the cookie. Men don't think it's that special. It's not that. It's not the personality. It's not all of these things. It's about what you know and how you can relate to him. That's what's going to make you different. Because all women can be funny. Listen, I think all women are funny somehow. Like a lot of people have sense of humor. Like they can make a joke and you'll laugh. Like it's very easy to have a good personality, be a little funny. Um, Attractiveness, some women are just born perfect. Some women don't got to go in the gym. They just born aesthetically perfect, right? Just keeping it real. There's always these different things, but what is going to give that edge? That edge is connection. That edge is understanding. That's what it is. I want to read both of these comments really quick. And I seen John acting a fool up there. So I want to know what he has to say because his mind is going. Jeremy Fox said, to be honest, women want the man therewith to possess everything that every other man doesn't possess. But oh man, this is going down a rabbit hole, but I feel like y'all are working with me. To be honest, when men, okay, how am I going to say this? Women want the man therewith to possess everything that every other man doesn't possess. Just work with me here. This is true. This is true, but it's very easy because if a woman is with a man that she wants to possess everything that every other man doesn't possess, what is the one thing that you can possess that every other man cannot? Her mind. So it's true. It's true, but it's not as complicated as people make it seem. It's people act like it's impossible. I'm not talking about the women who want a man who, 7 foot, money, this, that, but even some of them, even a majority of them, they just want a man that got them in a chokehold. Not physically. Okay, we're not talking about no abuse over here, but they want the
Of
man
course.
that just got them like that. Has a hold on them. And that's what I'm saying. It don't matter money. It don't matter this. It don't matter that. Once you have that woman like this, from whatever angle, she's yours for life. That's it. I like this comment from Chapter 9 Music. It says, some men think if they have enough money, their women problems are over. Exactly. And
That's
that's why
false.
some men have money and then they're like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with these women, because it's not that. It's not
because
that.
you lead it. It's because you lead it with your damn wallet. That's the problem.
Exactly.
What's
And
the
you
old
ain't got no.
saying? Money can't buy happiness. Well, there you go. Money won't change your problems. In fact, they made a whole song about it. More money, more problems, if anything.
Yeah, because once you have the money, if you're leading with that, if you get sick and you can't work, she gonna put you in a home.
Yep.
She's not taking care of you because you ain't got no more money.
And
It's
you got
not
no
that.
social skills at all. But
It's not that.
Unless,
It's not the money.
unless you got enough money for a retirement home.
It's not the money.
but
It's supplying her with something that she can't get elsewhere. Whatever it is. And
River, I'm
again,
about to
I'll just
hop
say this
off.
one more time. What'd you say?
I'm about to hop off. I gotta go.
Okay, Mike. Nice to see you again.
Nice seeing you again.
Nice to see you too.
Just like this comment was saying before, women want the man they're with to possess everything that every other man doesn't possess. And again, it's her mind. It's her mind. That's what you can possess that every other man cannot possess. It's her mind. That and I don't know. I can't. To go into that is going to get into a whole different. It's going to get into frequency, energy, all that kind of stuff, and I think that might be a deeper conversation. I might need to announce that so that the crowd knows what they're getting into when we talk about stuff like that. But it's a lot more. There's a lot more context necessary, but it's a lot more simpler than people actually think that it is. It's not this magical situation that keeps people locked in, especially women. But women are very mentally stimulated. Men are physical and visual. I'm just being honest. Okay.
They're
If
mental
you look
also.
good, you keep it
We
cool, you
are.
keep it calm, keep it looking whatever, they're gonna work with you. Okay, as long as you don't go too far out of pocket, they're gonna work with you. But women are very mentally stimulated. So if you know how a woman's mind works, it's a lot easier to keep a woman in a certain frame with you. Because she knows she's not gonna find that elsewhere, because there's a lot of men out there who just don't care about how women think and how their mind is set up. They just don't care. So if you do, you look like God to her. I know the women gonna hate me for this. Why would you tell them that? Why would you tell these men that? Scam Likely, you're here. What is up? I want to hear your thoughts.
No, I disagree. I got pushback.
Okay.
The way to conquer a woman is you step to her and you look deeply in her eyes and you ask her, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you grade yourself? do is you
What?
attract, like, you go and you absorb as many YouTube talking points as you can, and you regurgitate everything word for word. Then you just have the bag that you've been chasing and dangle it around in front of her. She's going to automatically submit because you're on your purpose. Isn't that how it works?
You so shady. You see, he's telling everybody what people. But you know, it's funny that you say that. But it's because that's what a lot of people think is to be true. They really think that.
That's
They
that.
really think that
That's
if
that
they
pickup
do,
artist.
they really think if they do everything that he just said that that's supposed to work. They really think like the moment that they meet a person, what do you bring to the table? Like they genuinely think that this is how these things go, and it doesn't have to be so complicated. It really doesn't.
As people will know, I EQ. You feel me? I just spoke about this on the last channel too. Like I ain't gonna say it, but
That's where I recognize you from.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels was talking about that EQ from IQ, and he was trying to tell him like, you can have EQ and conquer the world. I mean IQ and conquer the world, but when you conquering women, you gotta understand EQ. And I was trying to talk to him, and they was like Pookie. I'm like, okay, I ain't see it. I ain't see it till after this. Cool, because that's why I'm representing. It's like, okay, yeah, that ain't no harm to me, no foul. But I just want us to bridge the gap because it's like a lot of people that's going on the passport bros, all them they got IQ, and we need them. I would never talk bad about intellectual brothers. We need them. They talk bad about the Pookies, and it's crazy because I'm intellectual, but I side for the Pookies. It's like they're my brothers, but it's like we need EQ because to understand the women mind, that's how you not the conquerors. You got people that's doing it for wrong reasons, but it's people who really get women and they treat them well. It's like it's all into what you want to do with it. But yeah, that's what Kevin Samuels died on. He died on that EQ and IQ topic, which you was talking about right now. That's just basically what I feel like that is.
Yeah, and the thing is that a lot of the Pookies have a high IQ. That's what people. That's why I think that people have wrong misconceptions because they make up these ideas in their head, and the life is genuinely not black or white. It's genuinely not. Like we would like to think so, but there's no such thing as like an extreme that's so perfect. It's just not true because you have women the same way that you have. People think Pookie is somebody who's dumb, uneducated, got a whole bunch of baby mamas, that's this and that. And there's a lot of people who would technically fall under the category of a Pookie. And if you talk to them, you'd be like, oh, wait, but they're actually a high value man. If we're talking about intelligence, if we're talking about self-worth, if we're talking about self-value, because a lot of people think high value is a man who works on corporate America and has great credit and, you know, has all this money in the bank. And that's not necessarily true because it wears suits and gets a lineup every week, you know, manicure. Like, and if we want to be honest, that doesn't make him high value because of the things that he has. Because what is his integrity like? What is his purpose? Is he purpose driven? Is he a good leader? Is he a respectable human being? Is he strong-minded? Or is he just
high quality?
Regurgitating things? Like that's what we have to ask ourselves.
How could Pookie gonna be a high value man?
Yeah.
How is he? How? Okay, what is y'all saying he's not a high value man for? Like, what is y'all reason for saying he's not? Number one, income. They ain't got the money. How you know? You pocket watching? These Pookies mainly that got females got money. Y'all just don't say they got money the right way. They got money.
Okay.
Selling drugs doesn't count.
There's money that you can have and there's money that you can't. They're different. The money that you can't have doesn't qualify as money. You got to be able to. You have to be able to come home at night to your kids. Then you talk about the network and utility.
Because there's different Pookies. There's different Pookies. Not every Pookie is a baby daddy.
Well, what qualifies a man as a Pookie then?
That's the thing.
Running the streets. Got a criminal record.
I got called a Pookie because I got a grill in and a nose ring, but they don't know I got military background, college. You know what I mean?
No,
so
it's not so much it's not about appearance. It's the life you live.
But some
Yeah.
people put people in Pookie as in appearance.
And parents
But,
definitely.
but
That's the
there's
first
some
thing they
people.
step off of us.
There's some people who are, again, corporate America, working and making money or whatever, and running the streets with their homeboys
That's
from the
true.
hood.
That's
Who
true.
is he a Pookie? He's a Pookie, even though he's in a suit. He's still a Pookie.
Yeah.
There's some men who work in corporate America who are baby daddies to mad kids, but they look the part of a respectable man, and people wouldn't call him a Pookie because of what he looks like, but then people will call John a Pookie because of what he looks like. So sometimes the lines are a little blurred, even when it does come to appearance. So that's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of different versions, and I don't know if you were on before Scam Likely before he came on, but he was just saying like he feels like there's like a line drawn between the men, where these men try to downplay all these, Pookies and try to do this and try to separate the two, when in actuality they shouldn't be. And I agree with that. I think that there's a lot of division that's unnecessary,
I was about to say
especially
that.
in these conversations.
Well, division has become a natural part of it. That's why I say I'm definitely not blackity black. I don't identify as the black community because it doesn't exist. I'm an independent contractor. There's ADOS versus FBA. I ain't never heard of nothing that's stupid. Because if you trace the root, everybody came from somewhere else anyway. I mean, that's a joke.
I'm really glad you said that. Thank you for saying that.
My grandfather's Jamaican. He came from Jamaica. I grew up in Virginia. So somehow I'm ADOS. But then they're saying it's because of my roots. Then this person could be from Memphis and they're a black man. They're asking for reparations, which means it's due to slavery. That means your people came from somewhere. Make it make sense.
I want to say exactly, but I want to say too, just really quickly, then I want to get back on topic because last time I did this, somebody was trying to come for me, but I agree with that. Like, because my mom is Jamaican, my dad is Black American. And they want to tell me like, oh, you're half this and you're half FBA, but you can't really say you are because your loyalty is here. Because it's just so stupid because we all black people. Whether you want to identify as black or African or whatever, like we're all Africans. Like we're one. If we want to get into a deeper conversation, we're literally all one. But that's a whole different kind of conversation. But I just think it's stupid when people use so much division in conversations that is not necessary. If we're talking about relationships, there's white men. Look at Mike that just left. He white. He married to a black woman.
Yeah, I met him in person.
He
He's
want to
cool.
be a part of the conversation too because he feel us. You know what I'm saying? What am I gonna do? Tell him don't come up on here because this is a black people conversation? That's stupid. This is a relationship conversation.
Yeah, I met him and his wife.
So
they're cool.
That would be racist too.
Yeah, but I'm black, so black people gonna resonate with me. They're gonna feel me by the way that I talk, by my dialect and stuff like that. And I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I love who I am and what I am. But at the same time, exclusions aren't always necessary. If we were talking about politics, if we were talking about just race and stuff like that, I think then exclusions will obviously be necessary, right? But when we're talking about stuff like relationships, a lot of people think that it's just black women, and I'm glad I'm saying this. A lot of people think it's black women alone that acting out, acting like this, acting like city girls, and it is not true. Some of the women with the most TikTok followers, millions, are white women bashing white men. Right. With the same city girl mentality. Okay? They have the same rhetoric. Why should my husband do this and this and this? Because if it was me and I was, and hell no, I'm not doing that. They have a different tone of talking and they're saying the same things that the black women saying. So it's one-way conversation, one way. But I just wanted to say, yeah, there's a lot of pookies in suits. And there's a lot of high value men that people would walk past them and see tattoos, like John saying, grills, whatever, and look at him and say, oh, he ain't nothing. He not productive. He don't have he can't bring no value to no woman. And they'd be surprised. They'd really be surprised. Images is tricky. It's tricky. Sometimes you could look at somebody and think that they're nothing and they open their mouth.
Well, Rivah, question. Mm-hmm. Do you think women know how to evaluate what money looks like anyway? Like, because they're saying we only date 6-figure and upper big money, and Then they have a kid with a dude who's broke,
Mhm.
maybe two.
Mhm.
But I've asked a lot of women, okay, what do these men look like? And they can't give me an answer.
I'm gonna
Since you want money, tell me
yeah.
about how you identified the last three boyfriends that all made all this six-figure money. What did they look like?
They
And I
never
always
had
hear
that
silence. Yeah, I usually hear complete silence.
because they never had that.
Nope.
They don't know what it look. Okay, a lot of the women. There's two types. A lot of the women who are chasing the bag either grew up in poverty and never had stability, and so they crave stability so bad that they need a man that has money because that's the only way they're going to experience a comfortable life because their parents never gave it to them. Or there are women who come from financially stable homes and are already at a certain uh level financially, and so they have to have somebody that can meet that same lifestyle. But majority of the women who are talking have never experienced financial stability, have no idea how much money it would take them. We saw Kevin Samuels do this all the time. How much money would you need for the lifestyle that you want? They don't know. They would say something that's like way low because they really don't understand finances. So I would say a lot of women don't know. Just keeping it real. Women gonna be mad, but it's true. A lot of women don't know.
I just think it's funny. But I have found that other races figured it. A lot of other races do have them beat in that category.
What kind of women?
Like Hispanic women,
Hmm.
white women, they know. I got a friend who works for CBP, Customs and Border Protection, a bunch of law enforcement officers.
Hmm.
They got bars that they hang at. There's young women that go to be at those bars, and they know more about the money and how much they make with overtime. They listen to the language. They know how much the men make, and they put themselves in position to marry these men. Same thing with police officers. Got a friend who's an officer in New York. Certain bars, young women go in there because they know police officers are going to be in there. They know what they make. They look at their collar. Oh, he's a sergeant. Oh, he just called him lieutenant. That's the big guy right there. They already know this stuff. They know benefits package. They know how to overtime works. They're put in position to marry him. Or in certain colleges, they go hang out at these places where the grad students are and try to marry him before they graduate. Then
No,
they
that's
become
that's 100%.
It's
That's
just
a
the thing.
hundred
black
percent
girls
true.
go to the club and go to VIP and get the dude
Yeah,
who
they
got
go they go to the
two.
bottles. They once they see the girls with the
Yeah,
bottles, the black girls make their way over there like, hey, he got money.
yeah.
No, that's very true, but it's also because of and for this part of the conversation, I can't necessarily say that I blame black women entirely, right? Like if you want to know something, if that's what you're really about, you need to study it. But it's all about upbringing too. Because like say for instance, right? A lot of my clients are a good portion of my clients are wealthy white women, right? With kids. And they purposely inform their daughters from a young age. Like if their daughter is like struggling in high school and they have to pay for a tutor and stuff like that, they purposely allow them to dress more sexy. They allow them to do more because they say you need to find a rich husband that's going to take care of you because your career life is not looking too strong. And we're people with money. So you don't look like you're going to be able to be a lawyer. So I'm going to need you to find a rich husband that's going to deal with you. And if the daughter comes to the mom and is complaining about the boyfriend, the mom is not taking her daughter's side. She's
Well,
like, you need to get it together because he's going to leave your ass. Like you need to be on his page because he's your meal ticket. Where our moms, right? And I say our because it's our community, not necessarily my mom. My mom was a little crazy, but like, and I mean crazy in a good way. My mom was very strict, but like, our moms growing up raised in a different mode. It was more of like a protective mode. You can't date till you married. You can't have no boyfriend. Didn't teach us about dating. Didn't teach us about, how to respect a man. Didn't teach us how to effectively, work with another. It was just like don't date, don't have sex. Because if you have sex,
The
you're gonna get
birds and the
pregnant.
bees
I'm not
talk.
raising no babies. There was no context. Whereas in other communities, They're very free with their conversations. So
But
it's very different, very, very different upbringing.
here's the thing though, and so most of our women in our community, let's say that started with the baby boomers and stuff like that. But the silent generation taught their daughters the same game as the white women you coach and everything with their mothers. Problem is with our women, they broke out of certain traditions because when they compared themselves how the white women do it, but they didn't understand the structure how they did it and stuff.
Mhm.
They saw it from the outside looking in, and they complained to their men and stuff like that, and then they broke certain traditions. As you see a lot of stories all the time, how you see the old grandma and so that had a traditional mother and father in the role, but they wasn't living wealthy, but they still was stable. So she broke out of that lifestyle, went to the city life and everything, thought I could do things differently, and it backfired. Man, a perfect example of that. When Ayana Van Zandt was on the show with Lisa Ray, her mother and her daughter, and Lisa Ray's mother was saying that's that same story she said and stuff. I left when I was younger, my age and everything, because my parents was, which was her Lisa Ray's grandparents, they was working in the fields and everything, blah blah blah, and she didn't want that, but she didn't understand they still had a family dynamic. And then look at the whole domino effect. She went off and found some D boy and got pregnant with Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray did the same thing, and now it's happening with her daughter. That's another single daughter. See the domino effect, like these. I don't believe that they do know. They do know, but they don't want to do the process of doing it. Only a certain small selected few finally see it. Like, you know what? Either they're young and realize, like, you know what? I don't want to be like the people like my previous age, older people like that and everything, like my moms and everything, or they at a certain age where they know they kind of pass it. So now they want to do bitter tactics, like Vivica A. Fox now, trying to shame us and bitter tactics so much. But that girl realized she failed. She failed hard. We seeing it right now with our own eyes. Every time she talks so much and everything, it's a bitterness. But deep down inside, she knows when she home by herself, drinking a wine and probably taking depression pills, she failed. That's a sign of women have a failure right there. How to get a man. And she had multiple chances.
No, a lot of people are taught wrong. Like, I even see it in these spaces. And I dust the people off who say this. They tell the women, have your fun in your 20s, and then when you're 29, go get you a man and settle down. Or even the dudes. Hey, man, go chase the bag. When you're 37 years old and you're a corporate attorney, the women are going to fall out the sky. Like, why would you tell a dude to do that? So when he's 21, 24, and 27, if you told him not to go date married till he's older, till he's 35, what's he going to be doing from 18 to 35? And what type of women? Because you've already eliminated the wives because they want marriage. So if you're not going to be dealing with wives, what women are you going to be dealing with for 7 years?
I just want to say really quick, just before anybody says, and I want you guys to continue the dialogue as well, but just based off of what you just said, and I also want to comment on what Mel said as well, but I think if we just want to be honest, just across the board, just quick, making it quick for what Scam Likely just said. There's a lot of people who make comments about generalization, and you cannot generalize situations on what all young men should do and what all young women should do without context to their background, to their situations, and to the scenarios. Because we can't tell some women like, oh, between 18 and 24, you should be looking for a husband. But in actuality, based on their background, they should be in therapy. They shouldn't be putting their problems into anyone else's life and causing more toxicity. It's just not across the board. So just like how you're saying that they say, all young men should be doing this. No, that's not true. Some young men need experience with dating so they can know what they want in a wife.
Exactly. I want to add on to that because I know I had debates with older guys when I said that, and Kevin said that, but I don't think they understand the certain nuances to that. The guys I was debating with that, he was someone from a different generation that had no problem getting women because the women was different back in his time frame. So we're talking about the young men that are now that are struggling. Matter of fact, I'm in my early 40s. I was struggling with women in my younger years and stuff like that. So I know how most of these dudes are now this day with the internet and everything. Most men will be sexless, overlooked at everything. They're gonna have to bring some type of weight, and they're gonna need the least get their feet wet. Not everybody's gonna have the gift. They need some type of coaching or something, man. And some instructions, at least what I'm saying, some trial and error and stuff. Be
Talent.
responsible.
I agree.
I hate to say like, but that's a fact. Some guys gonna have to go through that to get some experience. And
I
we got to
agree.
think about from the female's point of view. We hear a lot of these females. We tell them like, we see a lot of females getting married. They meet their husbands in college because after they graduate out of college, then they out to the work field and everything. And it's going to be even harder for them right there because the guys that they talk to in the work field and everything, like they work with, that they be around so much. So college is actually the perfect spot. But most men is they're not going to college for that many years like that. They want to
This
go
is
to school, get their trade, make that money and stuff. And women will take on, I want a man that put this, that together. Despite most of the time, yeah, they're sleeping with dudes that's opposite and everything. But it's like, we got the like you said, some guys gonna have to get their feet wet, but feet wet a little bit longer than others and stuff.
but this is the context that's missing within these conversations. And this is so interesting because it's like I don't went on vacation, came back, and now we just talking about all the talking points that's going on that's false. This and I love that. I really love it. But the context that's missing is that women who are of age, right? 18 to 25, whatever it is. Maybe I don't know the ages that people say, usually 20 to 25, whatever it is that you should be looking for a husband. You're not wrong for looking for a husband, but maybe your husband shouldn't be the same age that you are.
Bingo.
Because we're not telling men at the same age to do the same thing. And I strongly believe that when a man is older than a woman in a relationship, it forces her to give him more respect than the guy that's the same age.
Mm,
My
We
opinion.
got to be
I'm
real. Most of us
neutral.
people that sort out World Royal Oats also too. Despite it could lead to a circulation. Oh, we still going to still show our war oats. And then some dudes, that's when that infidelity happens for some other dudes also too. When we tell them you was better off just being a bachelor for a little bit while longer and stuff like that. So
I
it's
disagree.
still in us and stuff.
When the being a bachelor, I mean, my thought is this: there ain't but six women out. Ain't but six per state that are left that actually want to be wives. It's
6?
getting bad. Maybe six.
Six.
Yes, more men out here looking for actual wives, and women. Most of them just said no. We're not going to be wives. We're going to eat. We're going to be feminists. We're going to do, or they're going to join the nation of wigwam and whatever. That's what they decided to do. But if there's shortage of wives, and the men are going to always have to compete for those few, why not start that competition early and start learning to work with a woman and on emotion versus chasing the bag, missing 5 years because you're just dealing with women playing around. And if you're dealing with women playing around, it comes with a cost. You're risking your windows busted out your car. You're risking
You
possibly
think
getting the wrong one pregnant.
Okay, I'm gonna be brother on that. Because
You gotta do both.
just said it
you
herself.
think there's a shortage of wives? You
Yeah.
think so?
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
Nah, I agree with him, but you gotta do both. It ain't
I
gonna
mean,
be
if you
no.
don't have any standards, then yeah, there's wives all over the place. But if you
Nah,
have
he
standards,
right.
yes, there's
It
a
ain't
shortage.
6, but it ain't 6 per state, but it's a
Not
short
6.
line.
Oh,
6 per
my
state.
bad. There's
Like,
8 of them in Texas. I missed one.
he's joking right now, but I feel like he right though. If it makes it short as it was, but nah, it ain't 6 per state.
I
I
think
mean,
okay, so here's my opinion.
yeah.
Only my opinion. Okay, this is not fact. This is just literally only my opinion. Adam, you don't gotta ask. You could just hop up on here. Let me post a link for you. Um, definitely not 6 per state, but I think again this goes back to what we were saying a couple, maybe like an hour ago about special men. I think for a man who's in tune with women, he is a wife maker. He can make a woman a wife.
Mm-hmm.
So he can just throw a rock and wherever it lands, he can grab that woman and perfect her. And she will be without spot or wrinkle. And people will see her and be like, oh, wow, you have a really good woman, not realizing the work that he put in to make her um in his own likeness. Now, but I think that just in the same way that there's not a lot of wives per se. I think there's also not a lot of men who want to do that.
That
There's
would
a
be
lot
me.
of men who just want to have a ready-made woman. Would you say?
That would be me.
Right.
I'm
That's
kind
what
of
I'm
lazy in the
saying.
mode. Yeah, yeah. I'll plead guilty to that one.
Because a lot of men, after being with woman after woman after, they just kind of get tired of it, and so some of them just feel like I don't want to put nothing in. If she doesn't come perfect, I'm not with it. But there's not perfection. Sometimes there's you might okay, so you might say six, right? You might say there's six that are ready made, but in actuality, there might be 94 others that need
Mm-hmm.
tweaking.
I
Mm-hmm.
can work with the 94.
The rest could be to the
The
dogs, right?
rest,
But there might
no.
be 94 that need some tweaking and then would be an amazing wife that would pass the six that are already ready based off of your teaching. But a lot of men don't want to do the teaching. They don't feel like it.
Yeah.
I'll teach the teachable. I
There's
will
some
teach
some men
the
that
Got
don't
to
want to
teachable.
teach
do
I
the
won't
that.
do it.
That's
teachable.
the whole thing. Some men don't want. I talked to this dude online about that. Like he wants an already ready-made woman that she's supposed to know his programming. But I'm like, you're a boss. You supposed to teach a new employee your rules and regulations. That's
I
what it
disagree.
and stuff.
I disagree.
You can't expect her to automatically know everything about you because she's dealing with a different attitude. She got to know your life, your dislikes, and everything. What you're
No,
going to tolerate and
it's not
everything.
necessarily that. It's just that
Hold
when a
on.
woman pushes
No,
back,
it
it's
isn't.
such of a
Hold on.
turnoff that I don't want to talk to her anymore.
Look.
It's more
I
about
was
her
I was
already
married
having
for
a
8
right
years. Look, check
mindset.
this out. If you try to teach a woman something, check this out. If you try to teach a woman something, it's gonna be a point where the discipline is implied, and she
And
ain't gonna like you as much as she did before it
what
was implied.
type of
Once
that?
you start disciplining women, because when teachers is involved, you gotta reward somebody and you gotta discipline them. Once you start disciplining a woman, the fun is out of the picture, and then she's not gonna like you as much. So it's gonna be some friction in the relationship. So the new dude she can present herself to, she ain't gotta worry about him looking at her flaws. She can just present herself as perfect too. So to you, she gotta remember you taught her all that. So when you taught her all that, she at a lower state. You feel me? So it's like,
John,
No,
you just exposed yourself.
who I
exactly. No,
could?
no, let me get this. Okay, you show my discipline, right? You
Hold
saw
on,
you
Mel.
Yeah.
Hold on,
already
Mel.
got mad.
Mel,
Hold on,
hold
hold
on.
on. What River about to say?
Mel, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna let
You
you
already got
cook, Mel.
married, but she like
Mel,
that
I'm gonna
before.
mute it.
Mel, hold on. I'm gonna let you cook, but I wanna say you exposed yourself, John,
I want to
because
know.
you just exposed the reason why a lot of men are not willing to teach because they are saying to themselves, I'm not doing this work for the next man.
Facts,
That's the
facts.
Oh,
reason
that's what
why
it
they
says.
don't want to do it.
Right.
Nah, that's what I
They
was saying.
say,
That's what my point.
I don't want to show her this because next thing you know, she gonna do all this stuff for the next man, and I'm the one who put in that work. That's the reason why a lot of men don't want to do that.
Facts.
But
That's not me.
the reason why I say exposed is because that's also the same reason why a lot of women don't present their best selves in relationships because they say, I don't want to present my best self in this relationship and then it turns out not working out. Then I just gave my all to somebody for no reason. And that's operating out of fear. That's fear based.
But that happened less than if a dude was to train a female and then they was to kind of, okay, he training her so she kind of feel like she's his subordinate. So now she want to branch out and get her own man and feel like they equals or something. But in a situation where it's like reverse, where it's like a dude in a situation where I don't know, I feel like that's kind of different.
It's
I don't
not
know.
No,
because a lot
no,
of women say that. A lot of women say, I done did this, I done did that. I cook for all these men. That's why I'm like a lot of women that say that they're not cooking and cleaning now is because they did that stuff before.
That's
And oh,
true.
he just got used to it. And after I did all this stuff, he started treating me bad and he treated me like a doormat. He treated me like I was supposed to do it. It's the same mentality that women have. It's the
After
same
I trained
mentality.
her though, of course. Okay, because my baby mama, I ain't good. But my baby mama, after we went through all that, of course I'm not like so happy that she cooking. It's like I just did it's 5 years and you finally cooking. Now you supposed to be on something new. But if for a dude who really just getting her, like she got a new kid by a new dude and he younger and stuff, he juiced. What she able to beat him up, choke him, and hell of shit. Me, I'm not going for it because I know who she was. It's like, no, bro, you're not doing none of that with me.
But that makes you the prize.
I'm lost.
But that makes
Let's
you the
go.
prize.
Explain in a second because I seen Desto face.
There's a lot of mistakes. A lot of dudes be making so much and everything. Okay, John, before y'all got married, was she sort of like this when y'all first met? Or was there certain signs that you know what I'm saying?
Like what?
When y'all first dated and everything, did she show those red flag signs like that?
I'm gonna keep it a band.
It don't take 5 years to train a woman how to cook like that and everything.
In retrospect, you saying some real shit, but I'm gonna be honest, I was young, bro. I was like 19.
Yeah,
I was 17. I was 17, so cooking and shit wasn't like we staying with my grandma and shit, you feel me? Like, so cooking, it wasn't like she had a kitchen to cook in, you feel me? Like, I wasn't even trying to have a kid, you feel me? Once she got pregnant, that's why I went to the military. That's why I'm like, let me step up because I'm a street nigga. Let me step up and try to make ends meet, you feel me? And that's when she had to start being a wife because I'm being a husband, you feel me? But I wasn't being a husband when we first met. I was a street nigga. You feel me?
Right.
I was
young too.
Yeah, I was young. We was high school sweetheart.
And know what? That's why we said for a lot of dudes around that age, they shouldn't be thinking about serious relationships like that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You still wet behind your ears. That's like they were saying. We mature,
goofy, right?
A little bit more to get ourselves together as a man because we spend most of the time building ourselves. Women get stuff handed to them since they were born and stuff.
I disagree.
We have to build ourselves and stuff. So when they want it ready, when you already ready made, and that dude takes time and everything, real, you already set in your ways and everything. I guarantee that if you didn't have no kids with your ex-wife and everything, and let's say like I don't know how old are you now, right? How old are you?
I'm about to be 31.
Okay, perfect, yeah. And you was already ready made. Okay, you might have just been dating, but you get pregnant. You met your ex-wife, you know what I'm saying, and you already got your business finances, your mentality and everything to say, you already set man. That dude takes longer for a man. By the time he's 30, he's already, in his peak right now. He's set and everything. Things were totally different in a lot of ways because now she's coming up to you and she can't do certain things to a 19-year-old that she could do to a 30-year-old like that and stuff that's already ready, set, made like that and everything. For most men, it's going to take longer and stuff. And then you're not going to tolerate that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got experience, your age and everything. So like in the first year, it's like, if you're not, I thought, trained you and everything, you still failing. I'm walking away and meaning it. And that's
I want to say this too. I want to read this really quick. It said, men don't got time to be training those modern women. But if you're taking time to train a modern woman, something wrong with you. That's not who I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm not talking about you sitting there with a city girl.
Right. That's what I was about to
say. Exactly. You can't mold stale bread. Shout out to Pink Book Lessons.
Yeah, I'm not talking about
women that's teachable. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about somebody who is, gung ho on trying to keep herself in a certain lifestyle for her homegirls. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there's women out there who are moldable, right? Who are willing because they really want to be in a good relationship. They just never knew. They ain't got no daddy. They ain't have this. They didn't have that, or they just didn't have the understanding. And so they're at a space that you can teach them, but a lot of men just don't want to. But I also wanted to know what it was that you Scam Likely were saying that you didn't understand, that you were lost at. That's what I wanted to know.
Well, no, just the part where he was talking about the aggressive and the discipline and beating people up and the woman beating. I ain't bragging.
I ain't say nothing like that. Nobody said that about
when you said your baby mama was beating up the guy.
Beating up some dude or something. Maybe I heard something wrong. My bad.
You said something about she have her she cooked for him, she this, and then she have him.
Her young dude, yeah. She kind of she a little aggressive to him. You feel me? It's like,
but that's what I was saying.
But she paying the rent and all that, so that's what's gonna come with it.
But that's what I was saying to you, John. But in that case, you're the prize, right? Exactly. So she even if she was her best version of herself, she still would be good for you because you know more now. And you're elevated. You probably experienced more different or whatever. And so you realize, I thought she was the best thing. But maybe in retrospect, no disrespect, but maybe I wouldn't have even impregnated her because of my standard now.
Exactly.
So I'm saying it so you don't got to say it, right? So I'm just saying.
And he said he was
So
young in the street. He didn't know that much, so I
he
get
didn't
it. And
know,
then he
because
tried
there's
to make the
a lot
best
of guys
decision
that
I
do
for a
that. There's
woman.
a lot of
I
guys
get it.
who
was
get
age
with a
also
woman
too. I didn't
and
know
even
certain
marry them and still married to them now,
yeah.
and thought that that woman was the best woman, and then they're like, oh wait, she was just the best woman on our block. But when you look in the whole city, she wasn't even close to the type of woman that I actually qualified for, but I didn't know I qualified for them. So I think that's the point too. And I wanted to say, I love this comment from chapter 9 as well. It says, you only train the willing. This is another thing.
Bingo.
I
Right.
don't think I think it's very important that we have add context to this conversation. It's important for a man to train. He can train a woman who is willing, but it can't be blind. You can't meet a woman after a month and talk about you're going to train her and make her a wife, because she just going to hop on the next train rolling and use all the tools that you use for her. Uh there's nothing keeping you guys together. It doesn't make sense. It's kind of stupid, right? Just like a woman, it doesn't make sense for you to just, I mean, it does make sense for you to meet a guy and just show him exactly who you are. I think that's,
You
if
know,
you are who you are, just be who you are. But for a man, it's a little bit different because it's more risk for a man.
I'm going to use this
Right.
example that's going to shock a lot of people and stuff. Offset and Cardi B. Offset
Celebrity.
trained Cardi B
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Why do you think she's not leaving him? Even when she said she divorced, she wound up be nigga on her divorce and say, no, we gonna work things out together. He trained her. Just like he did that video when she even did that song. He recorded that. Yeah, she cooked, she cleans and everything. She did on the video. But she ain't leaving that man because he trained her. Before he got together, she came out fame. They was dealing with each other even before that. And
It's
stuff.
ironic
Man, they
to
called the
me.
business and everything. Like
It's ironic to me that girls want to be city girls and they want to be, hot girl summer and all this kind of stuff. But then when the same women who are promoting that lifestyle get into relationships, they don't emulate how the woman acts. They only emulate what the woman say.
yup. You ever saw that what was it, just hilarious who did that same joke online about that on TikTok? About,
Mm-mm.
yeah, she said something about that also too, like what's called the hot girl leaders, the city girl leaders, whatever. Yeah, your teachers about fleecing the guy and everything, blah blah blah, lose up punanis and everything, the police the guy and everything. But yet these same thought leaders and everything got himself a relation, got himself a man and a husband. He ain't teaching us about that.
Exactly. And they get cheated on publicly and stay.
Mm-hmm.
Your man to say one thing you don't like, and you be like, no, I'm not doing this. And it's like he do one thing you don't like, and you ready to run, and they're literally telling you, I don't cook, I don't clean, and da 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 da, and I got this, and I got the WAP, and I got all this kind of stuff, and they're staying in relationships. And let's be clear, people want to talk about Pookie in this, they will consider Offset a Pookie.
Yeah,
My
we're
definition of food is
celebrities.
totally
We don't know what
different.
their real lives are.
Yeah.
He got money, he got mad kids. That's what people say. People say Pookie is a man with a whole bunch of kids. That's what they say.
Might as
Yeah,
well
we're
say
talking about
Nick
their
Cannon
marriage.
is a
Maybe.
Pookie. Might
We
say
don't know
Nick
what their
Cannon is a
marriage is
Pookie
really
because he's
about.
about to
Let's
have
be
his
honest.
10th kid. Nick Cannon about to have his 10th kid. He must say he a Pookie.
But because of what maybe an Offset looked like and what a Nick Cannon looked like, they're gonna judge them differently.
Mhm.
But it is what it is. And I'm not saying nothing wrong about the Pookies. Okay. I'm just calling it what it is. That's what people would normally call them. But because they're celebrity, oh no, that's not the kind of guy we're talking about. But if you see a regular guy that looks like that, you're gonna class him a certain way. So there's a lot of context that's always going to be necessary in these conversations. We can't just have like blanket statements because I don't think it's one size fits all. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. One of the biggest problems when it comes to all these kind of conversations, when it comes to men, women, development, is blanket statements that don't make sense. And I think a lot of people try to like copy the way in which Kevin Samuels did his thing. And listen, it's still so hard for me to believe that Kevin Samuels is actually not alive anymore. Like that's like even me saying it, it's so hard for me to believe it. But a lot of people try to copy the way that he was doing things, but it's impossible to do because he knew what he was doing. The reason why he always had something else to say on his live streams is because he used individual situations from his callers. It was not a one size fits all. He used a situation with a person and made his opinions, stated his facts, stated what was necessary, what was not necessary, and moved on to the next person, and maybe what he said to this person was different from what he said to this person.
Yeah, we're talking about
But
a
we have a
culture
lot
full
of
of
people who
destructive
just,
people. Oh, go
what'd you
ahead.
say?
You're talking about the audience is a culture full of destructive and competitive people. Light
The
versus
audience.
dark, married versus single, dusty versus high value. So if the culture is based on they want it all, but they don't want you to have nothing, that's the comments, and that's what you're going to get. You even see it in some of in the spaces.
That's true.
If if Hustler and Musker was shooting a shot at you, it
Mhm.
wouldn't surprise me if 3 dudes on the panel started hating. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
don't know
get
why,
that.
but that's just the default of who the people are. Then 4 girls in
That's
the
true.
comments will
But I'm
start
not
talking about how you
necessarily
need to gain 50 pounds to be like, well, actually, how you need to gain 150 pounds and be like them. That's
but
just
I'm not
how the
necessarily mad
culture
at
is.
the viewers, right? I'm more talking about the people who are creating the content.
Oh, the creators? Oh,
The
okay.
creators
There's a lot of
who are just
imitators and stuff. Yeah.
regurgitating stuff that they might have heard
Yeah.
and then just selling it and acting like it's a one size fits all thing for every situation, and it's not true.
No.
It's just not true. Every guy that's with a woman who is a BBW, it doesn't is not because he has low self-esteem. Some guys will really push a skinny chick to the side to be with their big girl. I'm not saying that's the majority of men. I'm not saying that, but there's preferences.
Yeah.
Everybody does have preferences, and it doesn't mean something's wrong with you because you have a certain preference. It doesn't mean that it has to be because you're broke that you're with a big girl.
Yeah,
Like,
a win is a win.
Right.
it doesn't mean that 100%. There's always context necessary. And it doesn't
The
mean
only
because
problem,
you're a big girl and you with a guy that's whatever that you're paying all his bills either. Because there's some girls, like I said in the beginning, who be fine. Okay, she's fine. A whole bunch of guys want her, and she's still paying somebody man bills.
That's a fact. If you're gonna realize that, like a lot of, I'm talking about all the men version of a top tier 8, 9, and 10. That go for all the races of men that put certain girls at the top 8, 9, and 10. They're the most singlest chicks and stuff. And I even hate to say it, even their sets game is even more bad and stuff like that because they monetize their sets. They don't have to put even work even in the sets. It's the girls in the middle.
I disagree with that.
The six sevens, the adjustable, the 5 size adjustable six, and everything. They're the ones that's actually getting more wiped up than the top tier chicks
That's
out there
true.
and stuff like that. Yeah, because they.
Where I'm at, the prettier ones are married, but also most of them are Hispanic. Like I go to the gym, the most beautiful woman I've seen in Florida, and she's working legs. I shoot my shot, and I find out he's over there working his arms. Or I see them leaving the gym.
Like I
or he
said,
dropped off.
I'm talking about a large majority of men what they consider not just your individual of her being top tier pretty. Because if I see it, I might not find a top tier pretty. I'm talking about most percentage of dudes that would find the top tier 8, 9s, and 10s and everything, like a percentage.
I see more marriage on the prettier women and more single on the more unattractive. That's what I see. Not
like
just
I
here,
said,
across the world.
I haven't seen these females that you're talking about. So they might not be top tier pretty good girls to me if I see them. You know, but that that don't happen. Like I said, you're speaking for an individual. I'm speaking for all percentage. Most percentage of women that's not top tier 8, 9s, and 10s, they are married. The top tier females are not married. That's why they always complain about I'm pretty in this and everything, but I'm still single and everything.
I think that both things can be true at the same time. So I do think that there's a lot of women who are married who are pretty, right? And they already wifed up. And I also think that there's also a lot of women who are pretty who are single and have a problem in the dating market because they think that pretty was all that they needed and don't realize that that's not enough. And I also think that the same thing, that there's a lot of women, if we go to just the store, if we're being honest, there's a lot of women, if we just go to the grocery store, the gas station, or Target, there's a lot of women who are maybe average who are walking with a man. And you might see a chick that's bad in the aisle by herself. So I think that both things are true at the same time. I think both things can be true. It's a mix.
Not only that, a man will pass up a perfect 10 chick with a stuck up city girl attitude in favor of a 6 out of 10 chick who's more feminine, fit and in shape. So it's all
Bingo.
about the quality of the person, not how pretty she is.
Bingo.
So
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
and
false
some
narrative that
some
they
men,
push. Oh, go ahead.
sorry, some men won't approach the girl who's a 10 because they assuming that she's gonna have an attitude too.
That's
Exactly.
true, and it's a
Sorry,
false
They
Jason.
narrative.
assuming she's gonna be nasty,
I
and maybe
barely
she's
have
not.
that problem.
It's a false narrative.
I've
Sometimes it's a
I've had
false.
females.
True.
I've had females that are like an 8, maybe between a 7 and an 8, that are a 7 and a 10. That often come into me, and we often make conversation. They not half bad, but it's usually the ones that are like a 7 and below. They have the worst attitude. That's just my experience on it.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
yeah.
y'all can tell me something different.
No,
Usually,
I
it's the
Yeah, I
said
ones
think
that's
it's
not
both.
so pretty.
I think it's both
attitude isn't
because I think
connected to look.
sometimes
Oh, go ahead.
even like
Sorry.
for myself, sorry, even like for myself, like I think like I hear a lot like people say, oh, they'll meet me like in real life, whatever. And, oh, I wasn't expecting you to be like that, and I'm like, but why? Like why would you think I would be anything different than what you see right I am right now? Like that's me. You know what I'm saying? But they assume if you look a certain way that you're gonna act a certain way, and that's not true all the time. Sometimes it's true though. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes there's some pretty girls that I'll see in the store maybe, and I'll be like, oh, I like your shoes, and they're like, all right, girl, I just said I like it. It's not that serious. Like it's
Facts.
not a big deal.
I think that's
And
demographic. Where you at?
that's the
That's
kind
why
of that's the kind of stuff we don't like.
Well, people
Where
keep
I'm
You
from,
teaching
can't
the false
compliment a chick
narrative.
without it looking like.
No,
where I'm
people
from in
teach the
Cali,
fear and
bro,
they teach the false narrative.
pretty
That's
girls
why.
like that.
Pretty girls are mean.
Hell mean
That's
it.
not
And
true.
Cali, what? Pretty girls, man.
You from California?
I'm from
Yeah.
Oakland.
Okay.
Pretty girls, man. It depends where you at. Probably
It depends
southern.
where you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, so I see this all the time. Yeah, you see.
And I'm in
Yeah.
Miami, so big
Exactly.
cities
Three
already.
big cities.
Yeah.
All we need is Vegas.
Yeah, we just for real. But it's true.
I
But
don't
like
know. They're not
you
rude
can
to
go to
me.
places
I don't
like
know.
Texas, like you said, Texas, and I mean, not everywhere, but majority of the time, like you have different places where people are just really kind and friendly because that's like the tone of the place itself. The women are beautiful and friendly and stuff like that, but what he said, demographic is really true. It really depends where you are, because sometimes they think that, like in New York, if a girl is gorgeous and have a nasty attitude, that's a part of the persona. People don't even look at that too hard.
A New York 8, as she would call herself, it will technically be a Miami or California 6 and everything.
But,
She
right.
got this attitude that she's still an 8 everywhere. I seen a video like that with a chick. How she was from Atlanta and she had no problem giving dudes that she found herself. She was all that, but when she moved to California, the game was totally played differently, and she was kind of on the average chunky side. But like she didn't realize it's demographic. Yeah, if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, most dudes like that woman a little bit thick. You're a pretty thick girl, but most people like the woman pretty thick. But you're in
Yeah, LA
California.
is the fittest city in the country. They're gonna be
Exactly.
120 pounds.
Very vain.
San Diego,
Exactly.
same thing.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah,
women always in their beach bodies for hot weather all the time. So it's like, yeah.
And it's the same everywhere too, because some girls who got it like that in Cali will go to Brooklyn and regular girls walk past them and make them look like a 3.
Depends.
Depending,
Yeah.
depending, because it also depends on, because of where you are, depends on what kind of style they like.
Exactly.
So what could be trendy in Miami, which is like the big, fake stuff and the plastic and stuff like that. So you might go to Cali and a natural girl will have you beat because that's not what they like. So it's definitely dependent on demographic. I want to read this super chat from Yandeezy. It says, women want to be strong, independent when it suits them, but wanted to be treated like a lady when it suits them. They pick and choose their advantages. Very true. Very, very true. As long as it's pleasing to them, that's what they want to go with at the time. So it might differ from day to day. It might differ from hour to hour. But as long as they're pleased, that's what they want. And it's only, that's selfish women in general. That's just, when they're selfish, that's how they move, which is very true.
Hey, River, can Miami? Can y'all stop sending your plastic surgery rejects to Tampa? Like the ones that 5 years later, after their body fell apart or they ate it all back, they come moving up here to Tampa. Can we send them back to y'all? It's getting bad.
Okay, I want to say this about plastic surgery though, without people being mad at me, but I'm just being honest. I don't. Okay, so I'm not one of those women. Again, I'm not an across the board person. I'm not one of those women who's gonna say don't get it. Right? I'm never gonna say that because there's some women who have babies and maybe their stomach is not how it was, and maybe they're not gonna have confidence. Their man is not going to be attracted to them. Maybe they need to do a little something. I'm not opposed to that. I feel like if that's what some of them breastfeed, they need to fix it back. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it should look like it's your body.
Right.
Because men have said over and over again, they will smash the girl with the big old fake stuff, but they like the more natural appearance. It's attractive.
Feel better too.
River
No,
been
she
around.
didn't.
Hey, look at River. She been around all guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
clearly. Like,
Yeah.
but the more natural is just more. I mean, okay, without calling too much names, but let's just look at 50's girl. I don't know anything that she may have paid for, may have not paid for, but I think from what it seems as though she's natural, right? You don't have to have a big old, ass all the way to from here. You don't have to. Just work on your frame and being the best for your frame. And that's attractive. Like that's very attractive. And I think that a lot of people just keep getting it twisted following the TV people cuz if people will be like, "Oh, she looks so good in that." And if we want to be really honest, like a lot of them don't.
Nope.
A lot of them don't. It's not. In the 90s, in the 90s, it was like the best time when it comes to like beauty. Like Nia Long, Halle, they were all like slim and cute and just beautiful, like
Yeah,
just
before they got
naturally
fat.
beautiful.
River,
That was-
man, you can see collarbones on them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
You
about
can
to
see their
jump off.
jawline.
Y'all
Like
have a
they
good
just
night.
look healthy.
that
Oh,
was
you
way
did?
before fat
All right,
acceptance.
bro. Salute.
All right.
Take it.
Thank you, River. Have a good night.
Of course, you too.
Be smooth, bro.
Yeah, they just look like healthy, like just healthy and like toned, and they look like they could really run. Like now, these girls look good, but they look like they out of breath.
Like a
Yeah.
small percentage of them we grew up watching, still in shape. Maybe someone got married. Like Nia Long just recently got engaged to the
She's
basketball.
beautiful.
Yeah, like,
Young's beautiful.
That
some is
was
like
way before fat acceptance, though.
yeah, some is like wasted.
Exactly.
To my point of view, like Shania Lathan, 50, like 49, like 50 years old, and she still got it, but she didn't get wiped up. Like it's kind of wasted.
I know.
beauty.
Beautiful.
Damn,
She was
What?
beautiful. She's really beautiful, actually, but I don't know. I have some other ideas as to why some of these women are single, but I'm gonna keep them to myself because I don't want to get myself in too much trouble. But all I'm
Yeah,
gonna say is,
I'm thinking like I was just thinking like Pam Grier also too. Like
yeah,
it was like,
beautiful.
but if you see her now, it was like now I know she went through some tragedies and everything, but even still, like I'm like, damn, she could have got wiped up. She should have been wiped up by
A lot of them could have, but a lot of them sometimes it's attitude. I think sometimes they don't like men. I think sometimes they're actually secretly into women. Just to be honest, I think again sometimes their attitude, sometimes it's them having high standards and thinking they're better than they are too, and sometimes they're just selfish. They make money at a young age and then they're just really selfish, don't want to share, don't want to bend, don't want to be cooperative to another man. They just don't feel like it. So I think there's a lot of reasons why a lot of them are
it's like mixing with their trauma, what they might have experienced and everything. Cause I've seen from some girls and everything. Like I was reading about Pam Grier, about her past relationship, and someone was, trauma experience. I don't want to go into detail with that. I'll let y'all research that. And look at her now. It's like damn, like I think probably around when she did the L Word series or Jackie Brown, she was dating someone and it still didn't work out. That's probably about her in the 50s by the time we was filming that. and she still didn't get waxed up. And it's like,
Thanks,
but she
John.
went through some hard experience also too. I was like, that could have been worked out in therapy, like you know what I'm saying. To the point that it's almost like just like you ever heard those saying like women keep saying they single, but it's like single by default.
Yeah.
I think that's
Mm.
part of too with their trauma. It's like yo, they still hold on to their trauma hard and badly. Like I feel they could have worked that out that deeply. That any man would have been willing to work with you, depending on your trauma. It is most dudes
That's
will
why
work.
I say sometimes we don't need to be pushing younger women into marriage. Sometimes we need to be pushing them into therapy.
Yeah,
Listen, and I wanted to add to that what you guys are saying. I'm in complete agreement. It's like for me, I took the same thing. I went to a year of therapy. Just I know so for the next woman down the line that it would be fair to her because to not for me to be holding no grudge. You know what I mean? Because the last woman did me dirty. We already talked about that. But
Yeah.
but yeah. So I had to go to therapy. So I would because I could feel like under the surface I had a lot of rage and shit like that. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I understand. Just like women, we got to go to therapy too. You know what I mean? It's like there's no getting around the work. It's not on the next person. It's on us. Stuff. My bad.
It can only be two whole people.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, a relationship is me bringing my 50%, you bringing your 50%, we make 100." That's actually a lie. It's actually
Yeah.
me bringing my 100%, you bring your 100%, and then we still
Mhm.
100. We just
Right.
merge our 100 together and we still 100, but we a
Yeah.
whole. Because if
Right.
I separate, if you're not putting in the work, I can handle the entire relationship
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
my
Like if I get
understanding, through my communication, through me knowing that you're going through something because I'm 100 already. I'm solid. I'm not looking at you going through something and then saying, "How come you're not hugging me? How come you're not talking to me? How come you're not doing this for me?" I can still hold my 100 down, and then vice versa. If I'm going through something, you got it. You can hold it down. You still that whole 100%. So we always going to be solid. And I think
right.
that's the biggest misconception is this daydreaming thing. This Disney fairy
Mm,
tale thing is so dumb.
it is.
People
yeah.
just need to worry about real life. That's the biggest thing. Even when it comes to these conversations, it's never about real life. It's all about the idea of what somebody else said and what they think Kevin Samuels would have said. And so that's how they're operating instead of realizing the life that's in front of you. Because maybe
Right.
what you think he would have said to that situation is not what he would have said.
Yeah.
Maybe how you think how he would have said to handle that situation is actually not it. So it's about dealing with life right in front of you. That's one thing that I learned on my trip. I loved you see when I put that camera down and I stopped recording here and I was not on YouTube at all, I was enjoying life in front of me. Every moment of it. I didn't want to miss nothing. I wanted to just look at life. I didn't want to do nothing else but be present in that time. A lot of people are so busy on TikTok, social media, talking to their friends, escaping the noise of life when they actually should be in it, growing. Then they'll be able to have better relationships. Because there's some people who in a relationship, the two of them in the house, both of them on TikTok for
Mm,
hours.
right.
And then when her man come over here and tap her, talking about, hey, you was looking good today. I'm trying to hit that or whatever. Oh, you always want something because you're distracting me away from my TikTok. So you're putting your phone over a real man in your house? Are you crazy? You know how many women wish they had a man in their house?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people need to be present, very, very present. And I want to
And
say
this
this
is
too, not just for like the giggles of it, but just to be honest, like men are really the prize. Men are really the prize. And let me tell you why. This is not gas for y'all. Okay. This is not me
We'll
coming
take
up
it
here.
though. We'll take it though. Listen.
Yeah.
Man, gas is
This
the
is
truth.
not me saying
Oh,
it
we
so
the
that
Greg
table.
on
everybody
the
can be like,
gas.
this is
We the
what we
prize. We the
want to.
table.
The
Don't
reason
even
why I
start with
say
it.
that is because men have the capability of looking after everyone around them. Like men are very intentional with the things that they do, but especially men who are on their purpose, evolved, and all that kind of stuff. You do a lot of stuff. You take care of your household, your job, you take care of your own emotions because a lot of men don't spread their emotions to anybody else. But then you're intelligent enough to watch your person's emotions. And then if you have a child or children, you have to be the one taking care of them. I see. I don't know Kiara, where did you come from? Okay, did you just pull in here? Because if you have been watching me this whole time and you just now commenting because I said something nice to men, you wrong for that. Because I said a whole bunch of good stuff about women and I didn't see no women commenting. But
See,
if
it's
you
all
doing
love
that,
though.
that's shady.
It's all
You wrong for
good.
that.
She's
We used to
speaking.
that. We used to
Rilla,
that,
you
bro.
speaking truth. This is the sign of a lonely, bitter woman.
And
You know,
also,
I said it.
let's be real.
So
I
what?
don't need to do no gas. I don't need to gas nobody.
That's truth.
I really don't need to. We were having this long conversation. It's not about gassing nobody, but it's about the truth. Because the thing is that men are the pillars of the family. They
Mm-hmm.
really are. Like if you look at structure, men are the pillars of the family. That seed that you give to a woman comes from you. That's your strength,
Mm-hmm.
your bone, flesh of your flesh, right? We're the oven, but we wouldn't have nothing if it wasn't for them little swimmers. So it says a lot. And I think that there's a lot of people who have it misconstrued. The world has it misconstrued, but it's so necessary to have that structure from a man. It's so different than what women listen, and women are powerful. I said that already. Okay. Kiera, just in case you missed it, I was saying how special it is, Kiera, that we're different, Kiera. Okay. I was saying how special it is that we are so different. But to be honest, how would there be a family structure without the father? Without the husband? How would there be children without the dad? How would a woman get pregnant by herself? Think about that. Men provide not only just okay, just think about this. Just think about this. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna get off of it since because I don't want Kiera to get mad.
No, get her mad. Get her mad.
Think
Let's
about
go,
this.
bro.
The reason what made
Yeah,
me
we
think
don't
about
care.
it, what made me think about what I just said is because when I just said that there's so many women who wish they had a man in their home. And I think a lot of women need to hear that because there's a lot of women who have a man in their home and they mistreat him. And there's a lot of women who live alone and live in fear. They're scared. There's danger all around. They're the ones that have to lock up the house. They're the ones that if they hear a noise in the middle of the night, they have to jump up and get up and go see what's going on their own merit because they're alone. They got to go buy a little dog, a little dog that if worse comes to worse, let's be honest, that dog is running. Okay? Dog gonna leave them too. And there's a lot of women who live in fear because of that. Just because of the fact that they can't get on a man's page and respect him enough to honor him so that he feels comfortable to protect said home that we're talking about. If we're just being honest, especially nowadays, like the world is just so crazy. It's
Yeah.
so crazy out here. Like when people say something, I'm like, man, it's 2022. Anything is possible. Like literally, it's 2022. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
We have Elon Musk talking about living on Mars and stuff. Like it's 2022. What's going on for real? Like what's going on for real? There's always
Like,
something in the news to be afraid of. Like, and that's something that we can't provide ourselves. We are the weaker vessel. Oh, I'm scared to walk at night. But you're not scared to disrespect your man and tell him that you don't need him and you could do bad all by yourself. Like we just have
Right.
that,
to realize our place in the world. Both of us are special. Both of us are essential.
yeah.
But
And
we
it's
want
like,
to talk about the person who provides a certain sense of security. It's not going to be the female, it's the male.
and that always baffled me. I used to hate when women said that, but now I just look at them with pity. I'm like, you really don't want us around? In a crazy time like this, you really don't. That's awful. Like you really don't want us around. Okay, well, I guess I gotta let you die. Like that. That's hard breaking to say. But you know what I mean? I gotta watch you drown now because you know what I mean? Like I can't help you if you don't want to be helped. It's like we're just as men, we're designed to do this. We do without thinking. We ask, "Where are you?
Mhm.
How have you been?" We're asking the security questions. We're thinking around. We check the parking lot. We hear somebody walking in the bushes. We do this automatically, and you
Men
really
just
don't want us
said.
around?
Men just said.
Wow.
A
Yeah.
woman will be outside. The only way that a woman can be completely comfortable, like outside, with like is if she's with her man.
Mhm.
Because you know why? You will see a
She's a
woman with her man and
Superman.
she just like la 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 la. Life is great.
Right.
This is so much fun. I'm having a great time. I'm drunk. and her man is looking around. Who's that? Who's this? Who's this? Being
Right.
observant. Wait, what's going on? What's that? Why that car just slow down behind us? What's going on? Wait, who's that? Is it
Mhm.
Or a
because
group
they're
of
just
men.
so aware, you know? And a woman is like,
Correct.
you know, and
Like,
And
you got some females that think they could jump in a man's face and everything, thinking they could fight him and everything. Because reality is,
Bruh.
they know they got a group of men that she could go to that's gonna handle her dirty work. When that dude decides to not hold back anymore,
Mm,
really feel the power, and then she gonna retaliate with a group of dudes and everything. She's still gonna do it.
right.
exactly, she got men doing her dirty work for her.
but
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think one of the main
And I look
reasons
at it like this. I look at it like this. It's not so much that men don't. Well, I talked about this earlier in the stream, but I say it's not that women don't want us men. They don't need us men. Like I talked to Riva earlier in the stream. Women want masculinity and leadership only when it benefits them. They want it on their terms and when they need it. So it ain't that she don't need you. She wants you when she gonna need you. Her car break down, now she needs you. She, like Riva said, she get into a fight with some dude. Now she wants you to step in and be Mr. Masculine, Mr. Leader.
Mm-hmm.
So they need us just only on their terms. When they are
Yeah.
in some deep shit, that's when they gonna need us.
Right.
That's
And
how it's
that's
been for a while.
and just like the man said in the comment, the guys came to the amusement park to say to kids, you know what I mean? Like, you need us and stuff. But the problem where we're frustrated is we
we
feel
need
used
each other.
because you just need us when it's desperate. Ain't no man want to feel like that. We
Right.
still human
Exactly.
beings. We still human beings, cuz. That's
We need
crazy.
each other. And the thing is
Yeah.
also is I think one of the biggest takeaways too is that a lot of people get spoiled, especially uh, I'm black. I could say this. Okay, my daddy from America. So nobody should be offended when I say this, but I'm just making a disclaimer anyway. But especially when we when we live in such privileged places, that's when the women get most buck. Right? Like that's when most
Mm,
of the women feel like they don't need their counterpart because there's always somebody around to help them, right? Like Mr. Government, you know, Mr. This, Mr. You know, child support check, Mr. Whatever it is, like that's when they feel like they can pop off on the men around them and that they don't need them because they have more resources outside of men. But you see, if you go someplace where it does the systems aren't really set up like that, you'll realize a really big difference.
oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You see how
Don't forget social media.
women talk to men real different.
Hmm.
They act real
And,
different with them in the street.
and like Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, was saying, even those systems that they hate are outside of men are also designed by men. For goodness sake, it's called daddy government. Like,
Right.
we still here. We just invisible. We done such a great job that you don't even see that we're here. I just like when Kevin Samuels said that, I was like, damn, he's right. You know what I mean?
We need each
But
other.
yeah.
And for different reasons too, you know, for different
Hmm.
reasons. But
Hmm.
I just felt to say that like just like I said, just because of the fact that I was just thinking about how crazy this place is and how a lot of women take their men for granted. And I cannot say that it's not the other way around. Of course it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
People take people for granted.
Right.
But a lot of men, look at the panel. Men are here. Men are talking about it. Men are releasing negativity. Men are talking about their past experiences. And the only time I had a woman comment was Kiera telling me I'm gassing men. Think about that. But I
It's the
just said
reality.
she's
Is the
been here.
reality. She's here following us men.
But that means that she's been here listening.
Exactly.
But she just got
And
mad when I say
she
something
needs
about
a
men.
man. Because there was no man around and everything. What's she gonna do? She gonna go complain about the women?
Right. Like,
Yep,
and
that's what she'll do.
just like all the gentlemen on the panel, like, ladies, please understand, we know we need y'all. We still want to be with y'all, but you won't let us do our natural job. This is not complicated, you know what I mean? Just let us, help. But I'm tripping, I guess. But I don't know one speak for the gentleman here, but we naturally love y'all. Come on now.
The whole point of this
It's the reality. We don't need them as much as they need us.
That's a
They need
fact.
us more. They need us more than we need them. We do need each other,
This
but a
baffles me.
percentage and stuff.
the whole
And
point of this
that's what kills
conversation
them.
was things that make men, things that make men
What
miserable
up,
in
Keyshawn? What's good?
relationships that maybe they're not
Hey,
willing to
hey, what's
talk
happening,
about.
family?
Hey,
What's
Kashan.
good, Keyshawn?
Maybe that they're not willing to talk about, maybe that they don't want to say, but things that make men miserable in relationships, because a lot of women, again, they just think that I'm not disrespectful to him. I don't curse him out. I don't emasculate him. I don't do all that stuff to him. So why am I still not getting what I want out of him? And it's because that's not the only part of the conversation. If you nagging him, if you complaining, if you're being annoying, okay, if you're trying to be controlling, if you're being clingy. Oh, where are you going? To the store? I'm gonna go. Let me go find my shoes. He did not say he needed you to go. He just said he was going to the store right quick. Leave him alone. Okay.
That's
If you're
just as
being
much of a
lazy,
turn off.
if you're being lazy, if you looking good to go with your girls to brunch, but when you in the house, you look like you was in set it off. Like, come on.
Come on, G. You
He
want me to look
deserves to
good?
see the best version of you also, not just your homegirls at brunch and not just when you going for people outside. I even used the analogy earlier. Some women will go out with their man and they're like, damn, she look good. They be out with oh babe, when we go home later, I'm and the woman get home, kick the shoes off, snatch off the eyelashes, go in the shower, wash up. He's like, no. I wanted that version of you. Then you go back to the nagging and complaining. I'm not gonna get this on the pillowcases. Not my sheets. I don't feel like doing that. I just wash. You just nagging and complaining. It takes the fun out of the relationship.
Yeah, right.
It takes the fun out of it.
Like you like us when we hit the gym, we got a haircut when we look good. Like, come on now, like.
Yeah, if a man gotta look good for his woman, why can't a woman just look good for her man?
Hey,
why
man,
can't you look good to be in the house? Why can't you just look good to be in the house?
Right, you know what I mean?
When y'all first got together, you did.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like
you made
a man
sure
gotta
that
look.
He's seen you. Next thing you know, you be in the bathroom doing number 2, talking about, oh, you could just come in here and talk to me. He should not.
First of all, that's disgusting, bro. That's disgusting. Bro. I ain't never in my life.
That experience.
I had a chick do that to me. I had a chick say that to me one time. That's just nasty. You on a damn tour? You want me to come in there and talk to you? Oh hell no!
You should be ashamed. Like there should be like a certain level of like, no, don't come in here. Like, nah, I'll talk to you after. Give me a second.
Yeah,
I had a chick do that to me. No,
What's the problem?
That's crazy, dog.
As I am. It's not cute.
Bro,
look at you different.
Yeah, and
you
wonder why the treat.
Wonder why the treat.
Wonder why the treatment
why we can't take you seriously. Yeah.
Oh.
There's certain things that are key to keeping things tasteful in a relationship, keeping that spark alive, keeping the fun in things, keeping your man intrigued.
Yeah,
if you don't want to keep your man intrigued, don't get a man.
Oh, see, Rivah came to ether in the day, huh?
Be a sneaky link. Bottom line, you don't want to have to keep up with the keep up work. Be a booty call. Be a side chick.
Yeah.
You gonna hurt him, Rivah. You gonna hurt him, Rivah. Hey.
But if you really want somebody who is going to invest in you, grow.
Yeah, you're right, Mel.
Be a good man to you and all this kind of stuff, then you have to foster the growth for that relationship, and it's going to require work. And a lot of the women don't like these conversations because it's going to require them to stop being lazy. And a lot of women think that all women don't want to put in this work. That's where they got it twisted. That's how people be getting took.
Oh.
Because you think that you looking raggedy in the house is, he has to deal with it. But what you don't know is he been stepping out somewhere else, and she always on point.
Even in her pajama, even in her sleeping clothes, she looks sexy as hell. That's what we like to see.
She only got
and that's the talk a lot of females do not want to have is the why did he cheat it? And the fact that he cheated, why did he actually cheat it? And we break it down. She lost the ability to keep herself up so he could not strain away from her. She gained weight. She stopped complimenting him.
Some women get sexy for their man. Some women are just naturally sexy. The woman who gets sexy only for her man can't compete with that woman who is naturally sexy.
Yeah,
right.
Because it's always
it just
in
comes
her brain.
natural somehow.
If she walked from here to there, she's thinking about how she looks. Mm-hmm. You be walking from here to there looking frumpy. He's like, why is she walking like that?
With a bonnet on your head.
Why you look like
What?
that? What is up
Misrepresent
inside
me,
her eye? What is that?
bruh.
Go out in public
Misrepresent
with
me
a
all types.
go
Go,
out
my
in
bad,
public
bro.
with a bonnet on your head. Go out in public with a
Worse,
bonnet on your head. Ugh.
worse. Let's keep it real. Worse, a man who's into image himself. Even worse.
Oh,
Right.
Yep.
Even worse.
You just
jeez.
expect this woman to be the same way.
Even worse, because men are already visual. But imagine a woman, a man who's visual but also into image. That's
Well, I guess
you
I'm a
lost.
big. I'm now in that category. I just got signed on modeling agency. I feel you. It's just like,
Right?
oh dear, y'all, come on now, come on now.
Just got to keep it real. Got to keep it real. And again, a lot of women don't like these conversations because it's exposing too much. It's requiring
Right.
too much. But guess what? These are the tools and the things that are going to help you gain a stronger understanding with your counterpart. Keeping it.
I
Yeah.
think
That's why
social media as a whole.
some women can be fine and get cheated on and don't understand. How
Mm.
could he cheat on me? Look at me. And then there's some women who they think look worse than them, and he stayed with her, he married her, he give her kids. How could he leave me and go to that? Her level of understanding.
Oh,
Right.
She don't nag
It's a
him.
mind thing.
It's a mind thing.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
'cause
social
it-
media as a whole has exposed enough women over the last 10 years or so. TikTok, OnlyFans, it's already exposed women. So you're not exposing something we ain't already heard or seen before, Rivah. So keep
It's
doing your
true.
thing.
It's true, and especially because if we leave them alone, they expose themselves.
Oh my
Right.
goodness. It's
We see
tiring
it
though.
all the time.
You listen to them for 20 minutes and they give up all the red flags. I'm like, really? You too, huh? Damn. All right, next.
True.
Uh,
It's true. It's true.
Be
But I
on some
love
be on some CSI type stuff. Listen to them, have conversations, but don't judge them. Don't put them on the spot. Just let them talk, and they'll tell on themselves.
it's
They
I've been
do.
doing that for years. I've been doing that for years, unconsciously, subconsciously, do that to women for years, but never knew I was doing it. I let women talk. I let them talk about what they've been through. I don't judge them. I don't care, but I just let them talk and be like, okay, I like this girl, or okay, this chick got problems. Next, like Adam Smasher said, next.
Yeah.
It's so true. No, it's true. And I
Let them
love this
talk, and they'll tell on
conversation.
themselves.
I love all of the aspects of the conversation that you guys brought, the stories that you guys have told. I really loved it, but I just want to make it clear again. We're people here who are talking about relationships, right?
Right.
Women who want to be, they want to get it right. They want to make it to the long haul. Maybe it's some women who are in relationships right now and just struggling because he's miserable and you can't figure out why. Maybe you got a little context as to maybe you can look inside and say, okay, dang. Now, you know what? I've been tripping a little bit. I'm not saying that men don't be tripping. I'm not saying that, but I just got to be clear. The people who keep the relationship together is the woman. The woman is the one who keeps the tempo. If your man acting miserable and you switch up all these traits, he not going to have no other choice but to fold. He's going to have no other choice but to follow your lead and say, okay, this is a different version of her. I'm going to work with this.
Yeah.
Because she's showing me something different. So I feel like I need to follow this up and see where this is headed. Because where it's headed right now, it look like she about to be my wife. That's where it's headed. But let me just watch her for a couple of months and see if she's going to hit me back with the same switcheroo that she hit me with before. It's women that set the tempo and they don't realize that. You're not in control. Don't get that twisted. Don't get set in the tempo with control. You're not the person that's in control. You're not the decision maker when it comes to marriage and stuff like that. But you do have control over how you are perceived. And if he perceives you as sexy, right, in your own right, if he perceives you as peaceful, chill, down to earth, not lazy, always busy doing something, keeping the household in a certain way, keeping yourself a certain way, he gonna work with you.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to what Rivah was saying. Just like Rivah said earlier, we gentlemen are not like you ladies. the Lord put mercy on us. I really believe. If you like for ladies, we know we gotta perform. But if we just perceive you're trying to perform, we're easy to please. I'm not trying to speak for the other gentlemen on the panel, but
It's
the
true.
threshold is not as high for us. If you could just, you guys got a lot of power in that
Right.
regard. If you just give even the perception, we're willing to work with you. We for y'all's rigid. Y'all like, yo, you gotta have X, Y, Z in order. All right, cool. But like, just try it. Like, it ain't. We're not that. We're not. For thousands of years, we've been very simple. You know what I mean? But hey, if y'all can't even do simple, I don't know what's going on with y'all, man.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. Because what's simple to men is complex to women because they don't understand the man's mindset. Why I gotta do all of this and he don't even have to do that? It's not a competition. It's just how they're wired. Okay, they just have to see you at least, like you said, trying. They come to you and, babe, I don't really know how to cook, but I just made this. He gonna be like,
Progress.
wow, she's trying. You know,
Give her
Progress.
she's
credit.
really
Okay.
trying. Oh,
A
babe,
for effort.
don't cook no more, but that's nice. You know, maybe I could teach you a couple things. You know, he's gonna be willing to work with it. Or
Yeah.
even if you try, because women think men don't see things. If you try even to spice something up in the bedroom and you try to do something a little different, you think he's not gonna know?
Oh, come on.
He's gonna know.
Right.
We jump at the chance, I'm not
He's
to
gonna
speak
be
for the
like,
other gentlemen.
he's gonna be like, she usually does this move and she did something different. Oh, she trying something. He's gonna
Okay.
know. He's gonna appreciate that, and it's about the appreciation for the balance for both people. It's extremely essential. If you want to have a long, healthy, happy relationship, you have to put the work in because he's following your lead. If you show him nagging, complaining, drama, he don't want to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
If you show him affection, peace, understanding, he gonna work with you. It's all
Yep.
about what you show him. He can only reciprocate what it is that you're showing to him in the first place. So you have to make sure that you're showing the right things. You have to.
Right.
And
It's
it's
kind of like
it's a gift that keeps on giving.
it's kind of like a it's kind of like a woman who's slightly overweight or whatever, and she's trying to get herself in shape. She's
Yeah.
putting in the work to diet. She's putting in the work to jog, go to the gym or whatever. If you're doing all that, then yeah, I'll work with you. As a fitness
Yeah.
head
Right.
myself, yes, I will. As a fitness head myself, yes, I will work with a woman who's at least trying to get herself in shape. At
But
least put
hustle.
in the work. You ain't gotta
But
do exactly what I'm doing. Okay, I'm sorry, Adams. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no. I was gonna add to your point, and that goes back to our logical nature. We know once you get momentum, it's hard to stop it. We need to keep that momentum going. If you stop it
Right?
now, then you'll never get there. So we're logical. We say, okay, if a woman's trying, let's keep that momentum up. She's trying to cook. Okay, sure, it's not bad the first time, third time, 17th time. Okay, she's trying to lose weight, etc. We try to keep that momentum going because that's how we operate. Like it's like you said, when you're lifting weights, it's easier to hit that seventh, eighth rep when you don't stop. If you stop the set and have to restart, it's a lot of energy. So we're like, okay,
Right.
she's trying. Let's get that treadmill moving. Keep it moving.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, she ain't gotta do it on my level because I'll go military style. I'm a veteran myself, so I'll go military style on my workouts. But you ain't
Mm-hmm.
gotta work out on my level. Just at least try to keep up with me. If she can do
Yeah,
that, we good. We in the clear.
yeah.
Exactly.
You can run up a flight of stairs 3 times as opposed to my 6, 7 times. Okay, that's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
You half-ass what I can do. So that's progress for you.
I
We
heard
like to see
somebody say
progress.
the saying, effort before perfection. And I love that.
Right?
Right,
Because
right.
it's so true. It's so true. I mean, you have some people who are perfectionists. You do. But
I'm
effort,
not a perfectionist.
effort gets you very, very far. Just trying,
I
just
want
being sure that you're
excellence.
trying.
I
Yeah.
want excellence, not so much perfection. Ain't nobody
Right.
perfect. No.
Right, right.
Nah,
Just
bro.
the
Nah,
effort.
bro.
The effort. Yeah, I love that. But I loved this conversation. Y'all, you see, I said I was gonna be on here for an hour. Who was I fooling? Okay,
Well,
after being gone for so long, who was I fooling? I
we
loved
missed
this
you, fam.
conversation. Shout out to
Yeah.
John again with the other super chat. I don't know if he can still hear me. I think his computer shut off, but shout out to John. Okay.
Love, John. Salute, bro. We need
Love,
that. We
love,
love
yeah, love, John. And thank you guys all for joining in. Of course, Hustler, Adam, Mel, who I haven't seen in a while, Kashawn, um, There was so many
I
people
want to
who
hear.
were on the channel earlier. Mike Dub was on too. I have to say shout
Yeah.
out to all of you guys. Y'all are like my A1 day ones. And if y'all see the live stream on, even Kendrell was here with the moderation. But if y'all see the live stream on, y'all always pull up, and I love that so much. I really respect that, especially because it was not necessarily last minute, but I haven't been on for a while, and so I just love that you guys pulled up to be a part of the conversation. Great conversation that we had this evening, and I think again, if a lot of people are listening to understand not to be defensive, not
Yeah.
to be combative, and not to think that I'm attacking you, I'm really giving you some knowledge that I have accumulated. Okay, and I'm trying to spread said knowledge over so that you guys can have better understanding, better relationships in the future. I think it's just important, and it can help. These conversations are definitely going to assist everyone. And listen, it's been a minute since I've done my reactions, but I'm gonna be back with them. If it's not tomorrow, it should be tomorrow, but if it's not tomorrow, it's going to be on Friday. And we have a lot to unpack because, as I said, I may not have been on YouTube and I may not have been watching YouTube, but I was on Instagram and TikTok while I was away, and I seen too much foolishness. Okay,
Yeah.
so much foolishness. So I'm gonna have them coming and bringing you guys my perspective, my opinions, of course. And again, I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow.
What
I'm
up, K.
still trying to
Sean?
unwind from my trip.
Hey,
Okay, I'm still
Sean.
trying to unwind. So it
Yeah.
might not be tomorrow, but it might be on, like I said, on Friday. But I am going to be coming back to you guys with the reactions. I'm creating a schedule for my live streams. I don't know exactly the dates and times that I'm going to do, but I am going to be back on it with my live streams as well as the motivational meditation. I think it's important,
Ooh.
especially in this timing.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be back with both. And I've been saying this since before I went away, but I still have some stuff up my sleeve.
Can't wait.
Okay. That I've been
We've been
working on
waiting.
for y'all that I know you're gonna love.
All right.
So just make sure that you guys stay close to my Instagram, stay close to my community tab. If you're watching this video, even on the replay, and you're not subscribed to this channel, what you waiting for?
Subscribe, y'all. Stop, man.
It's a
Bunch of-
family.
Yeah.
You already here. Come on.
Right, baby.
Got a bunch of duppies out here, bruv. Come
For
on.
real, we have these great conversations. People are always welcome to come on up and enjoy and share their perspective. So hit that subscribe button, of course, hit that post notification bell and select all so that whenever I post something, you'll be notified. Make sure you guys hit that like button on your way out of the stream if you didn't hit it on your way in. And I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys.
Gotcha. Love
Take
you guys
care.
too. Peace.
Take
Have
care,
a good
Rivah.
Bless.
Bang bang. Drop.
You can step into my world, see the way I see it, no matter near or far. It is a sight worth seeing. Step into my world, see the way I see it. Rivah TV.